everybody? Welcome back to Offended and Unfriended.
Cheer.
I'm JP. I got Jesse and Gene.
We're here.
We're here.
Honestly.
We're
You're looking at me.
we're in New York.
In the building.
We're in New York, unfortunately.
Soon this is not going to be allowed in New York.
Fuck that. We're doing it anyway. We live
Being
here.
this close.
No, we live here. Y'all live here.
For the record, this is not a basement. For the record.
Well, there's a little light coming through.
I know.
Come on, man.
Nice.
Windows.
Yeah.
How was everyone's weekend?
Not bad. I can't complain.
I remember you going, I got a fucked up weekend. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
starting
it was-
off the show with how's everyone's weekend?
I mean,
Fantastic.
Anything you can or can't talk about? For fun?
I mean, if you had a good weekend, please, you start.
I mean, you know,
I worked.
You know what I mean?
Literally all weekend.
I worked a lot, but I will tell you, and we'll dive into this a little later. But I worked, and I bartended and served. I did both this weekend, and I had the chance to speak to over 8 nurses in 2 days.
Nice.
And you know, I couldn't help but ask a bunch of questions. So yeah.
All right, we'll get into it.
All right.
Yeah, so we'll get into that stuff.
All right. I like it.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
get
sure
into
I got
that.
something to add to that after my weekend.
Yeah.
So my weekend started out great. I finished the dining room, all my painting and trim and all that stuff. Everything looks great.
And Lincoln came by and just rode on everything.
No, actually, damn it. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. I even left the dogs locked up in there
Hey, man,
the next day
listen,
and came home.
I was
and
expecting
it
a
was nice.
Lincoln. You got a son that's
By the way,
a toddler son. Usually it ends with, and he wrote all over fucking everything.
Yeah. No, not anymore. He's actually been pretty good. Knock on wood.
yeah, his sister-in-law put something, and I'm like, I don't know what it meant, but it was the funniest thing. It was like a picture of a kid in a window.
Oh yeah.
And it says, when you think you're doing a good job parenting, and then this, and the kids,
And your neighbor calls and it's like, excuse me, can you get your son out of the window? He's naked. And it's just like a picture of a kid standing
and
in
I'm
like a big picture frame window in front of the house. Schwazole hanging out.
I'm like, she
Yeah.
must know something. This was a direct reference to something.
Oh yeah, that's Lincoln. Yeah, Lincoln's he's that age. He's 2.5 now, so like he's all into like, I want to be a naked boy, and he just strips his clothes off. Doesn't matter who's there. Sometimes it's inappropriate. Sometimes it's just like,
All right, so
you gotta air out your shit. You know what I mean? Like,
so then you got that, all right. And then,
yeah. So we went to my mom's for dinner. Uncle Huge came up. Gonna take Grandma down to North Carolina for Thanksgiving, so that's nice. And in the middle of dinner, I noticed that Mika is not really with us. And so for people out there, I got 3 kids, 2 twin daughters. One of them, Avalie, is my BFF. She's the best. So I mean, they all are. They're all great. Mika is. Mika's running the gauntlet here, right? Mika's got cerebral palsy, epilepsy, cortical visual impairment. You know, she's legally blind.
it's a miracle that she's alive, though. I mean,
Absolutely.
I live with you in
100%.
that point. So
100% a miracle.
100%.
Miracle child there, yeah. But you know, sometimes this happens. Luckily, it's been a little over a year since she's had any sort of seizure status that was uncontrollable that had to bring her to the hospital. And lo and behold, she gets rushed to the hospital Saturday because we couldn't break it after 2 different types of rescue meds. And turns out she tested positive for rhinovirus again. So, all right.
I don't know what that is.
We're gonna
sorry.
have
I have no idea what that is.
We'll have a nice transition here
Okay.
into what you're talking about.
Okay.
So, about 4 years ago, Mika got rushed to the hospital because we were on vacation, and when we got home, she got real sick. She had Coxsackie, right? Hand, foot, and mouth,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
A lot of kids get it. It's
Gotcha.
it's common. But for someone like Mika, he gets sick like that.
yeah.
It's usually an increase in seizure activity, and we're in the hospital for a while. So that was 4 years ago. 3 years ago, she got coronavirus and sent her to the hospital. She was in the hospital for about a week with coronavirus. I'm sitting here. This is the first time I ever heard of coronavirus. This was 3 years ago, and I'm asking. They're like, it's like a common cold.
Well, yeah, it is.
Okay.
Common cold is
So,
coronavirus.
not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And they say, well, coronavirus tends to hang out more in your chest, in your respiratory area. Okay. The next year, we're in the hospital again. Mika has rhinovirus. Okay, what is this one, you know?
Yeah.
So again, another form of a cold, only this one attaches more to your neurological
Okay.
system, which explains the drastic increase in seizure activity. Luckily, last year, no, she didn't get sick at all. We did a great job. No hospitals, no colds, no nothing. And now here we are at the end of 2020. She got rhinovirus again, which explains the seizure activity. And the crazy thing is she's in the hospital and her heart rate is just spiking, like 190. It got up to once 191 or something like that.
Get that on the treadmill.
It was just like, whoa, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whatever. The wife stayed at the hospital all weekend with Mika. I was home with the dogs and the other two animals, trying to, finish up some stuff. And it was a stressful weekend. So what I want to get into here is yesterday was rough, especially because I got a kid in the hospital. Your anxiety's through the roof. I got 4 grown dogs in my house and 9 fucking puppies still. So that itself is... Luna had another litter. Yeah. You didn't know that? Oh, yeah.
I thought the picture you showed was from the old litter.
Oh, no.
What are you out of your mind? Cut that dog's dick off.
You think I did this? Like, I was like, yeah, I want to have another thing. No, absolutely not.
Wow.
This was a big surprise to us. One day we were just like, is fucking Luna pregnant again? No way. And turns out she was pregnant. She had nine puppies a couple weeks ago.
For the record, a surprise is when your Amazon delivery comes a day early. Not a fucking...
Yeah. Your dog
again,
it needs to be chopped.
That's...
Oh, no, it's happening.
That's holy shit.
Fuck off.
I'm actually going to sell all these puppies this time, and I'm going to take that money to get Luna fixed and Odin fixed. Because it's like, this is too much. This is ridiculous.
Bob Barker is rolling around in his grave right now.
I'm saying, bro, it's...
You know that, right?
It's a nightmare.
Pissed at you.
So this morning, I have an eruption. I guess just it just compiled everything that I've suppressed, every sort of emotion and anxiety and whatever, just from like the last couple of months of trying to get my house ready and getting the blueprints and everything for the new house. It's just like everything's just a fucking is a disaster. And I snap. Avelie's screaming at me this morning from her tablet. Nothing bad, just being like a typical 5-year-old. You know what I mean? Like she's watching a tablet, eating a breakfast before school. And I lost my shit.
That's a big pile to have on your chest.
I wound up. I haven't cried in forever, right? I wound up crying for like 20 fucking minutes this morning, just sitting there, right? And I don't know what it was.
Laughing because I just know. I know.
And so the wife calls in the middle of all this, and I'm like trying to keep my shit together, but she hears it through my voice, and I'm just like, I fucking snapped. I broke the countertop. I just redid my countertops. I fucking punched my countertop and cracked it. It's so like that set me over the fucking edge, right?
Gosh.
That's
because like what
Jesse forgetting how strong he is.
Like what are you you're a child? You can't like I'm constantly having conversations with my 5-year-old about how you need to learn how to control your emotions. And then here's daddy can't fucking control his emotions, right? So like that tipped me over. I just broke down. I sat in my room. I fucking started crying, right? And I don't know. I just had like a wave rush over me of. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I said this to my wife. She got a little ticked off me, but I looked at myself in the mirror, and I was just like, all right. And I had a wave of like toxic masculinity come over me, where it's just like.
Your wife appreciates this
I wiped
shit.
my face and I was just like, fucking man up, buttercup. Like, you pussy. Like, you're going to cry. Emotions are too much right now for you. Like, shut the fuck up. Man up. Your daughter's in the hospital. She's fighting every single day. You guys sit here, you're going to fucking cry, feel bad.
That's true.
Oh, things are so tough. Like, get a hold of yourself. Fucking, I slapped myself in the face and I got in the shower. You know what I mean? And now it's like, press on with your fucking day. So, and now I'm here. And this is where we're at. I hurt my neck. My dogs got out this morning again because the fucking wind last night destroyed my back gate or my back fence.
That wind was crazy.
So my wife's got my car at the hospital. All my tools are in it, so I couldn't even fix the gate. I had to jerry rig the gate this morning. It's just, it's been fun.
You didn't do like The Rock?
It's been fun. Basically, I did. So he did that. Bro, it was a huge tree limb that came down and busted out, a ton of pickets, right? So I was just like, I don't have fucking time. I have to go talk to my neighbor, get on her side and fix the gate and stuff. I was like, I got to get here, So it's, 9:45 in the morning, and I'm outside. I'm trying to redo the gate, so I put a big piece of wood up there, like a big piece of plywood. I just brought it over, and I'm like, the dog's gonna knock this thing over. So I was just like, and I did. It wasn't as good as The Rock, but I took a big fucking tree limb that fell and busted the fence down.
I know I can't move it.
I lifted that shit up, and
There you go. The Rock. There we go.
That's
and I
rockish to
fucking
me.
wedged this
That's very
thing.
rockish to me.
I wedged this thing onto the plywood, and it's fucking like the dogs aren't getting out right now. So
I mean, and on the thing, that's not the that's not Comiskey Park. That fucking
my
thing.
God.
By the way, that's not the first time Jesse punched down on something and broke it. That would be the bar at Comiskey Park where he took the whole front piece off.
you just unloaded a secret that we've all kept for years here.
That's all right.
All right.
Oh, no one knew who broke it?
No one knew who
mean?
broke it.
Oh, wow.
That shit. What are you talking
no.
about? No one knows.
So I'll tell you how it happened.
Oh, wow.
Ready? So we're all fired up. I think I was bartending right now. Yeah, I was definitely working at Comiskey, but we're all drunk. We're all fired up.
Local hole in the wall.
And it's local, great bar. It's like one of the best like corner bars you can go to on Long Island. I love it. Go down there. Tell Jeff and Swan we said hi. So we're hanging out. I used to work there. We all used to work there, or at least hang out there. And so like Joe Dunn and like a bunch of his friends who. So we were all big football players. We had the best football team.
Lot of toxic masculinity in that
We had
room.
the best football team
You wanna
in
call
like
it that.
decades in Center Reach High School. Like first time we made the playoffs in like 4 decades or some
Oh, my
shit,
God.
So now the kids that were 3 years younger than us were like our little brothers, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the homies right there. They were just as good. Also made the playoffs. So now we're all out of high school at this point. We're drinking at the bar.
No.
And they start fucking chiming in about how we would have kicked your guys' asses. And it was like, what did you just say? Like, we can go play right now, and I bet you our old asses will still school you. And whatever, it got heated, and I was just like, yeah, right, bang! And I punched the bar top and fucking split it in half. And was like,
Those
oh,
mitts.
shit.
Those fucking mitts of yours.
Oh, shit, we gotta fix this, you know?
Gorilla Glue? What'd you do?
We did. We wound up gorilla gluing it, clamped it on there. We left it for like the rest of the night, and before I left at 4 a.m., I took it off. Shit was sturdy. It's still on to this day.
Oh, they had to change it by now. They
No.
remodeled the whole place, didn't
Nope, never touched the bar
they? Well,
top.
they did remodel the place.
Yeah, but like the walls and the decor. Bar top's still there.
Here you go, Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Glue, folks.
Look at that. Gorilla
Animals.
Glue.
All
So-
right. So,
My wife is in the hospital right now. This was the transition here.
Good.
My wife is in the hospital, still incredibly strict COVID restrictions, right? She can't even leave the room. They're taking a picture of the vending machine, the nurses, and saying, here, this is what's in there. You let us know and we'll get it for you, you know?
I mean, I'd take that on a non-COVID thing. Yes, please. I mean, you're getting served now.
You know what I mean? Listen, like she got
Yeah,
in
but
there.
who put the chips in there?
By the time she was admitted, you know what I
You
mean?
really want me
Like,
to start this shit?
No, I'm just
You want me
saying.
to start it? Who put the chips in there?
I'm talking about
Were they
laziness.
tested? Like, you want me to start this bullshit? I'll start it. Like,
I think
really?
you guys are both on the same page here, so I'm not even gonna. I'm not talking. I'm just saying.
I don't think
you know,
we are. I don't think we're on the same page at all.
No, what happened
With that one
I
instance.
think we're both walking on different paths, just going
Yes.
to the same direction.
Right. All I was saying was, yes, I would love a bag of
Bag of chips? Yeah. Right.
Anyway,
I felt bad because, dinner was interrupted,
Yeah.
with everything.
Yeah.
So we had to, rush out. And, around 10 o'clock, she's like fucking starving right now. Like, I just got up to the room and I can't even leave to go to the cafeteria or
They
anything.
offered her chips. Like, I would have been like, I'm getting taken
Like
out.
vending machine. I was like, yeah, I'll DoorDash you something. She's
Hell
like,
yeah.
how they gonna bring it to me? And I go,
someone's got to be allowed to.
that's what I'm saying.
A
Like,
fucking can of Lysol, spray that shit
right?
down.
Fucking spray it, drop
bring
it off
that
at
shit
the door.
up.
Have one of the nurses bring it up or something.
In a hazmat suit, whatever the fuck they
That's
need
insane.
to use. Anyway,
Right.
moving on.
So COVID crazy is back.
All right.
Yes, for the most part.
All right. Where do I start with this COVID stuff?
I don't know. We're shutting down again.
Okay, so
I have a show. Oh,
Good.
real
Good,
quick.
good.
Yeah, so JP and I are releasing an album this Thursday. I have a show actually this Thursday that has now been pushed back in time. So shouts out to Chad for still letting the show go on, even though Cuomo's fucking
you
crazy
should push it
rules.
forward. You should move it to Wednesday.
Well, either way, we have to be done by 10 o'clock because the bar has to close. So
do the best damn happen.
I know, letting everyone know my set time got moved up to 8:15 now.
Nice.
I go on.
And also, keep in mind in New York when they say done at 10, it doesn't mean we close and stop serving at 10. It means we have to kick people out and they got to fucking chug their drinks if they have anything. And I got to go, okay, go drive home now.
Yeah.
Bro, last Saturday.
Before we lose our liquor license, please go.
Last Saturday, I had to literally go, guys, we're done. You got to go to these guys.
Yeah.
And we're an expensive restaurant. We're not Fridays. So imagine dudes in suits drinking expensive drinks, and I got to go, hey, chug, or here's a to-go cup. Really? Here's your $20
Here's
drink
a road
and a to-go.
soda.
Yes.
Yeah, but
And they understood. It wasn't like they were mad at us, but I still felt like
You
shit.
feel like a dick. Yeah,
no,
of course.
listen.
But why not say?
Does it feel?
All
Do you
right,
feel
guys
like it
are
affects your
closed.
tips?
No, not in that.
No?
Not for me. Not in my place.
and I'll be honest with you,
and he's in the same similar type
I was
of place.
like,
Right, because it's high end. Higher.
It affects tips in the sense of I didn't get to put more shit on that bill.
yeah, but
I had to cut them off at 9:15 at night, and people aren't ready to go.
Right, people are just getting
They're
started.
not ready to
Yeah.
stop drinking. You know what I
Sure.
mean? So
Bro.
it's fine. I don't mind. The 10 o'clock thing really doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother me at all.
The thing that pisses me off is going, get the fuck out. That's the part that
Right.
bothers me.
That doesn't
10
bother me
o'clock.
either.
I know. Listen,
I'm
we're
pretty
all
good at that
restaurant
too.
people. We're all restaurant people here. Nothing is better than going. Oh, it's not me, guys. Sorry, you gotta get the fuck out.
No,
Don't
for
get me
sure.
wrong.
You
I
got a
love
fallback?
Bro.
You got a fallback? Yo,
I love
I'll ride that train all day.
And then they don't blame us.
Listen.
Yeah, it's like a fucking dream come true. Don't get me wrong, but it just sucks.
I walked into work at 5 o'clock. I'm like, Cuomo gave me a half a day. I'm out at 10. I told people I was mentally checked out at 6:30, and I was ready to drop checks at 9. Like, I really didn't give a shit. Like, I really went through the whole shift like that in a big.
I know,
block.
but that's so terrible, though,
Why?
isn't it?
It was
Like-
nice. It was nice because it's like when you go to school and you know it's a half a day.
Okay,
You're
yes.
just
On a
waiting for the bell
personal
to
level,
ring.
it's nice
Yeah.
for you, but on the customer service end, you know what I mean? Like, I just
They
feel
win
bad.
some, they lose some. Oh, what do you want me to do? Listen, what do you want me to do? What do you want to do? It's not my fault. Like, this was the best.
Don't you feel like when you go out to restaurants now, don't you
I'm
have
never
like
the
a
last
higher
guy.
standard though? Like it's like, all right, motherfucker. Like I understand you only got 2 tables, and I'm waiting here this long for a fucking refill.
Oh, when
you know what I mean? Like,
when a server tells me, oh, yeah,
they messed up.
The food runner dropped your shit in the back, and I just look at it and I go, I've used that one way too many times to fall for that shit.
Or when the plate is piping hot because it's obviously
Oh,
in the
you're
window
right. Oh,
yeah.
for the whole Facebook conversation that he was having.
And they just said, oh, careful, it's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know why it's hot.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I feel bad a little bit because I know that people are quarantined, nothing else is open, and going out to eat is everything. That's your concert, that's your movie.
Yeah, because
that's everything. I get that concept, but I feel like you watch the news the same way I watch the news. You come at 8:30, you are rolling your own dice. Come at 6, have a good time, leave at 9. That's what I would do. That's why like to me it's a catch-22. It's like, do I feel bad? Yeah, but is that person giving me a life-changing tip? Probably not. If they are, then guess what? Lock the doors, pull the blinds.
You got a few guys who come in that give you life-changing tips.
I know.
Did you see there was a march on Cuomo's house?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw this yesterday. There was
Guys, hold on. If there's a march on Cuomo's house, nipple rings are available on Amazon.
Oh, it's hilarious.
You don't have to
I
go
always
that.
forget.
You don't have to go that far to get them.
Always forget he's got nipple rings.
You can get that.
is that like verified, or I think that was just an internet joke because of the way his shirt was sitting.
Bro,
No,
it
bro.
looked
Like it
I
shows.
watched it
exactly
live,
like a
but
nipple
I watched
ring.
it live when you did one of those press conferences. It looked like that.
Yeah. Hey man,
I'd
maybe
be
he's,
full.
he's gonna be Biden's AG. I heard.
I can't believe.
No way. Who said that?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Bullshit.
Biden's going to appoint Cuomo as his attorney general.
That actually makes smart. That's actually smart because I don't think he has a political career. I don't think it was over.
Sure.
Like you kept saying you're running for president. I'm like, run for president.
People were saying that
He
he
might
should have ran for
try.
president. They were like, please put Cuomo in for the DNC
Because
now.
he had 4 good weeks.
He's gonna
in the
run in
beginning.
2024.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
He might.
Listen,
It's a fucking giant panel. Why not?
He's going to.
Oh yeah,
because-
he'll join that board that gets that way he loses. He'll be Cory Booker.
Wait a minute. No, he won't run in 2024 if Biden wins.
Why?
Oh, you're saying he's gonna,
Oh yeah. Okay, fair enough.
That's
Like,
what I'm trying to tell you.
Maybe.
No,
I don't know. I could still see him running.
Kamala would have
Ow.
to.
You're going
He'll
to
show
tell
up
me
if
if
that
Biden wins,
81-year-old Biden is going to get reelected?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Kamala would have to take it. That's what I'm trying.
Yeah,
I told you.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yes.
Would she? You know, can we talk about that real fast? How does that work? Because what if he? All right, Biden wins.
You think they pay Kamala 70% of what they pay all male presidents?
I mean, hilarious.
Is that too soon? Sorry.
Or she'll prosecute.
Half. That's why you get half.
She'll prosecute. Don't worry. Good.
No. What I'm saying is, now how does that work? What if he dies? Now,
I'll help you
he
out.
dies. Okay, obviously the vice president becomes the president.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Or let's say he even dies. He just becomes mentally
Incapacitated,
Yeah,
yes.
He just can't do it
She
anymore.
becomes president.
Drawing a blank
now-
right now. It's happened in history before.
But now 4 years.
Who took over?
Well, there's presidents that have
fucking
been
think of it now.
murdered. JFK.
Yeah, that's
Right,
That's
okay,
how y'all
So
live.
there you go. But
That's
how
y'all
does
live
that
in
work at
Johnson.
the end
That's how
of
you
the
got
4 years?
LBJ, yeah.
Yeah, what?
How does that work at the end of the 4 years? Does Kamala have to run like with a?
Yes.
Does she have to?
Yes. She
acting-
would have to run
as acting
as
president. She
president.
has to try again.
Right. No. What I'm saying is, there's no.
Is there going to be someone to?
Replace her as vice president?
No. I think he's saying, is there going to be anyone to run against her
Right.
in the DNC?
For president elect.
So, like,
They would
there
make- they would
could
make-
have been Republicans that ran against Trump this year,
But they knew better.
just no one didn't want to.
They
Oh,
knew-
they could because
yeah.
I don't remember in history.
It's just-
I guess I haven't really paid attention.
Because again, because you play the party lines, and if you're the sitting party, you don't run against
Right.
the
You run
incumbent.
because if
Yeah,
you
but
run against the
also-
president and you lose,
You look like a douche. But
I got you.
You just politically suicided your career. You
Gotcha.
know what I mean?
Really, you get on the map. People know who you are.
Sure, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. Like, there's like, if Joe Biden is at the end of the 4 years of Joe Biden's presidency, let's just call it what it is, right? I could see someone like a Tulsi being like, "Fuck you, the DNC. I'm running against his ass because I don't like him." You know what I mean?
Right.
Or someone extreme, like
I'd like Andrew
like if
Yang.
Bernie or Elizabeth Warren don't get a place in his cabinet,
No,
I could
stop.
see one of them
They're too
running
obvious.
as a progressive, as like another party.
Nah.
Gotcha.
Andrew
You know?
Yang, he's the only one I let slide.
I like Andrew Yang.
Yeah, I like Andrew Yang. I can see it.
yeah, he's a
Yang
nice
and
guy.
Yang.
He
The
dresses
Yang-
nice.
The Yang factor.
He's all about technology.
Yeah.
All right, so
again.
I digress as always.
Go ahead.
Anyway.
I want to know more about what Gene was talking about with the 8 nurses.
All right,
Okay.
yeah. All right, so let's.
Okay, let's start
we
with these-
segued and
Because
then
I'm surrounded by nurses.
Let's
so let's talk.
So let's
De-segue.
talk about these 8 nurses. So I sit there because as your leader of the revolution, I'm not taking a vaccine. So let's get this straight out right now. It's not happening. I'm not taking a fucking vaccine.
When was the last time you got a flu shot?
What the fuck is that?
Okay.
Neither have I.
Ginger?
I can. We can
A
yeah,
flu
we
shot?
can do that.
Seagram's ginger ale is he referring to? Schweppes?
I agree. I mean, I come from the age of you say flu shots for
When you have
elderly and
exactly.
children.
Like,
Yeah.
so literally, and you know, I'm West Indian.
When's that line get crossed of elderly?
When you become elderly. When you become president. When you become president.
You were right. You know what I'm saying? When's that line?
When you become president.
Does
then you're
40
elderly.
is 40 your elderly now?
Nah, give me 10 more years.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till-
50?
Yeah, 50 is good.
60.
You're right.
60's
60. Yeah, because I
elderly.
know 50-year-olds that can just
Run
that
around.
can,
Yeah.
They're virile.
I know 50-year-old. I'll put him
virile.
up against. Yeah, come on.
They're spry.
Look at Mike Tyson. End of discussion.
Well, we're gonna see what happens.
I can't wait because I know that you're against Tyson in this one.
No, I'm not. I want Tyson to win.
What?
Over Roy?
I thought you were a Roy Jones Jr. fan.
Tyson's from Brooklyn, guys. You know
That's
better.
true.
Yeah, okay.
There's
I forgot
never-
about the
that-
Brooklyn loyalty,
we
the
just-
undenied
it's
loyalty.
it's blind loyalty.
Bro, you want that's the original like my team. That's my team. Fuck
I'm
conservatives
saying.
and
Yeah,
liberals.
yeah,
Nah.
Oh,
That's
you're
the
from
original.
Brooklyn? My man.
That's
Yeah,
it. That's
okay.
all it took.
Fair enough.
Bro, if there was a party on the moon, someone would be like, "Where's Brooklyn at?" And there'd be 2 guys going, "Boop, boop," like right in the back. Yeah. But
Sorry, go on.
but
Yeah. Brooklyn Pride. I love it.
yeah, you gotta love it.
I got it too.
But okay, so because of you guys in this show, unfortunately, I do too much reading, so I fucking fell down a rabbit hole. So I'm reading about this vaccine, and they're saying how it's the first vaccine of its type because it has both DNA and RNA, which is 2 different things. And what makes it different is that the RNA attacks you at a cellular level.
Explain what's RNA.
I have no fucking idea.
Okay.
Okay.
He just read the damn letters.
I mean, I
That's
get
exactly
it.
what I would do.
I googled it at the time,
I got
but
it.
I'm not gonna.
I want to follow along.
No, go ahead.
Keep talking.
Yeah, I googled it at the
I'll follow
time, but I didn't, commit it to memory because I was still being like, holy shit. So, the point is,
RNA attacks at a cellular level. Go
yes, and it is possible.
That's
Yeah, it's possible that it can have effects on you. As far it can change your alter your structure. Not only that, but it affects you as you have children, things like that. that bothered me. Then, my whole life, I'm not going to pretend I know the medical.
CRISPR, bro. Don't worry about that shit.
I'm not going to pretend I understand. I'm not going to pretend I understand the medical field, but I do know just from watching that, whenever there's been a drug test, let's just say a drug test, whatever it is that's coming to the market, they pay people $50,000, they bring them in, and then they observe them for a year, 3 years, 5, 7, so that they can see what the side effects are over time, and they can adjust people's behavior. And then now we're having a conversation about a vaccine that's 90%. That's what it says every time on the news.
Yeah.
90%. Pfizer says 90% cleared, and then but we've literally rushed something in 6 months' time, and we're going to give it to people. Now here's the funny thing about the whole numbers game too.
Can I just because words matter? Why do you say rushed?
I say rushed because it's called Operation Warp Speed.
Okay.
So,
I'm just saying, just because you have haste on something doesn't necessarily mean that it's rushed. Like, how long does it take to develop a vaccine?
Generally 3 years, 3 to 5 years.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And not to mention,
but why though? You know what I mean?
Because
I'm just asking.
You have to do because you have to do the case studies.
Okay.
Because I have to know that.
Fair.
Okay, we injected Jesse with this vaccine. We've observed him for the first month. He looks perfectly fine. We observed him for 6 months. He's perfectly fine. After a year, Jesse's reporting slight headaches. Now we have to make the connection. Now 3 years later, Jesse's migraines have dissipated, but he now
has a liver function, right?
You know what I'm saying? And this is how.
Imagine having a whole country of no livers.
And
can't do it.
And this is why.
Can't do it.
And this is why.
Budweiser would drop off.
This is why when you watch a drug commercial, it says might lead to suicidal this, jumping off car, vomit, diarrhea.
Right.
That's how they figured that out.
Jumping off cars.
Because test patient number 54 is throwing up. Oh, might lead to throw up.
Right.
This guy
test patient 96 is eating test patient 98's face.
All right, let's write that. Might lead to
cause
cannibal thoughts. Cannibal thoughts. We have to. We have to. But that's why I say to me, it's rushed, and it's like, once again. Oh man, and I'm not one of those guys like me. When I jump down a rabbit hole, I always have my rope. Like some people just jump down. I'm like, oh, let me look. So that's how I go down a rabbit hole. But like, Bill Gates is not a doctor.
No,
and
he's just a smart guy with a lot of money.
And I get it. He's bored because if I had a lot of money, I'd be bored, and I'd want to do philanthropic shit and be helpful and shit. But ultimately, he's bored. I don't care how you look at it. Some guys buy teams like Mark Cuban, and some people do what he does. So, I'm like, fine. So, this guy wants to...
Gates don't seem like the sports type, but go on.
I get it. He's about to play the world's biggest game with a needle.
You're absolutely right.
So now, this guy wants to so-called help. And there's certain things that just don't fit well with me, and I see it. So, he puts out a tweet that says... very excited to look. I'm looking forward to working with the new administration and trying to help people. I'm like, this is it, the beginning of the end. So now going back to the fact that Operation Warp Speed, Pfizer releases.
I left my tin hat at home.
Pfizer releases the 90% success rate after the election, which could have potentially help Donald Trump. And I'm saying, this is all looking really bad to me. I don't believe in coincidence. So it's like I'm lining it up in my head and I'm like, it doesn't smell right. It doesn't look right. And now, so Donald Trump was...
It's the political game, though.
Yeah, and this is why I voted. That's why I wrote on Facebook, too. I'm like, 77 million people voted for a vaccine. Basically, bottom line. Because if you didn't vote for Donald Trump, you voted for a vaccine. 1,000%, because it is very logical.
Can you verify that 76,000 million people actually voted?
Oh, my bad. No, if you meld in 76 million people meld in, sorry. But so and that's not a knock on Joe Biden. It's just that Trump is a lot more skeptical of everything. So, even with masks, like for example, Donald Trump has never thought of a mask mandate. Joe Biden has. So to me, the logical equivalent is if there was a vaccine mandate, I don't think Donald Trump would be on board right away. He would make it optional, in my opinion. And I think that Joe Biden would make it a mandate. So now, once again, I think this part shouldn't be political, but it is political, like you just said, which is true. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, every nurse, 4 out of the 6 nurses say they won't take it. you shouldn't take it. And this is a small sample size. It's not like I was dreaming.
Right, but are they saying that because it's Trump's vaccine?
No,
because I've heard this a few times.
No,
I'm not going to take Trump's vaccine.
No, they're saying
What?
that they believe it's sinister. Like they were part of the rabbit hole.
I'm confused. What do you mean? The nurses are saying that this is a cynical.
One nurse went as far to tell me that they've been dumbing the population for years. The fluoride in the toothpaste, the this, the that. She was talking about the front of your brain, and
Here we go.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying.
Just because she's a nurse doesn't mean she's not out of her mind as well, though.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I know some
No.
really hard partying nurses. I know some really shithead nurses. And I know people that I go, how the fuck did you become a nurse?
I will
Literally.
I will say when she did talk about the biology of things, she made a lot of sense. But my issue is this.
You good?
Yeah, Mika's
yeah.
coming home.
Awesome.
Good news.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So I'm like, my thing is, if there was more time, I would be less skeptical. You have to agree with me that giving me a life-saving vaccine.
But just,
Okay, this is
don't go off of the they're dumbing down the population, fucking
this
lady.
is coming from a guy.
Please.
I don't even get the first iPhones, folks, because they have glitches. I usually get the second.
See, can I just
would
chime
take-
in here for a second
I
on
would take
this?
vaccine 2.0. I wouldn't take the first one.
I hear you.
I wouldn't take the
Fair
first-
enough.
That's fine.
Fair enough.
Here's the thing, though. I kind of agree with what Gene just said that this nurse said, but not for the reasons. Like, no, I don't think that the dumbing down of America is coming from fluoride.
No, that was one example. But she also did mention
But
education.
The
She mentioned
dumbing down of America, that's prevalent. Like
Yes.
I could see that. Like that's visible now at this point.
And JB, here's another issue
It's
too.
logic is out the window. Facts are out the window.
Yeah.
Everything is emotional based.
I don't think that's dumbing down specifically, more so than just emotion taking over
But
the
I think
country.
I think it's a form of dumbing us down.
Yes,
you know,
an emotion can make you dumb for sure.
No,
you could punch a fucking countertop and smash it after you finish it. Emotion, dumb move, right?
Dumb move.
Stupid move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
Sorry, it was just so.
No, that was easy.
It was
I love
there.
it. That
It
was-
was. I went.
it's-
Oh, nice. That's
it's
delicious.
perfect.
And I put
Yeah.
it back.
I planted it for you.
Thank you, bud.
You-
Moving on. Go.
No, I just think that.
I agree with you on the vaccine, though.
Yeah, like I struggle.
understand.
I struggle with the concept that we should be taking something that is not fully tested. Oh, of
course.
And here's one of the things that drives me crazy. Once again, I don't imagine that I know what it's like to run a country. Blah blah. Even the health. No one told us to do anything from a nutritional level. No one told us to do
they've
anything from
been saying this from day one.
No one
Joe
said, listen,
Rogan's been spitting that
yeah,
out. Everyone's been saying that.
Like, guys, we want, listen, as a country, we're going to get through this. We suggest that you go for a walk every day, get your body active, and take more water, stay away from this. As a matter of fact, if I was president, I'd fucking shut down Burger King, McDonald's, and fast food for 6 months. Nothing personal. We'll give you a release package, but we need to focus on the health of our nation. Not one of those. But all of a sudden, 6 months later,
because there's no money in that.
That's my point. That's my point. And then
Where's their money? We need to develop a vaccine, and then we need to develop enough vaccine that everyone can take it. And if not everyone's going to take it, we're going to forcefully
Yeah, but
make
here's
them
what's
take
crazy.
it. Here's the difference.
But the Biden plan wants to give it for free. Like I read the whole Biden plan. So like he.
Oh, sure. They'll administer it for free, but that shit ain't free.
So who's paying for it?
Someone's
The
the United
government
States
taxes.
government
Yeah,
is.
well, I get it. No, so I get it on their end, but
Well, we're paying for
we're
it.
paying for it. Yeah, so like,
In the end,
in the end, we're paying.
When you
Not
get-
free.
when you get-
Nothing is free.
Yeah.
Like I'm so over this whole idea of, it's not free. Nothing is free.
Yeah, but
It's getting paid
by someone.
by someone.
It's funny-
We are someone.
It's funny you said that because I woke up today and I was thinking about how people. The tag of communism and the tag of he's a communist or he's a socialist, blah, blah. It drives me crazy because there is a fight between Democrats and Republicans. Basically, mom and dad want to spend our money and they're fighting on how to do it. And we sit there and we label people, blah, blah. But this is like 1700s. 350 years later, we're still fighting about taxes and what's being done with it. Taxation without representation is still an issue in this country because technically
stealing is stealing. Theft is theft.
We're underrepresented with taxes because we give money and we don't have enough say in where our money goes.
100%.
And we're still frustrated years later. What the country was built in is still a fucking problem. So when people are labeling people communists and taxes, it's like, oh, you want money to go to a park, or you want money to go to like libraries and shit like that. Meanwhile, somebody wants to pay for some failing corporation to revive them. It's like, this is why, I'm not a fan of labels and shit like that, because people don't do enough thought process, because now what they do is they get into defense mode or offense mode, and they're not
emotion.
Emotion. They're not really understanding. The issue is, where are our tax dollars going? Our representatives, remember you made fun of Cardi B, but she is now rich. She gets on the phone. She goes, where the fuck does all this money go? And she's right, because we have zero idea where our money goes. You hear these numbers like we're spending this much money in defense and this much, like that's great, but like what does that really mean? Where does it go? Yada yada. Because I think most Americans, at least a 26% clip, you're starting with your taxes. Like you're getting hit that much.
Yeah,
about minimum.
I just watched a few videos yesterday on the tax, on what this tax plan is going to eventually be, and what the next one actually is, and it's really after 2025 we'd be back to where we were anyway. Well, with Trump's plan.
Yeah, Trump's plan every 2 years. Every 2 years, 2021, 2025.
And then, the guy was also talking about, what Biden's plan, who it really, really, really affects and who it doesn't affect. Yeah. He said it affects everyone, but the worst are certain people. And I don't feel like
I get it. But
boring shit.
No, but
I just sat through it just to know it.
I was saying that. I go, what are we going to talk about?
I have a wife for
with
this.
4 years of Biden. Like
what are you talking about?
We're not going to. It's going to be boring. Is
what
I'm saying.
You want me to do
the media is not going to.
You want me to do a segue right now?
The media is not going to keep.
You want me to do a segue right now?
The media is not going to keep the same energy.
Hold on! Stop repeating.
Are you kidding me?
The media is not going to keep the same energy on a Biden Harris. They're not going to expose.
Is he crazy?
The shit that.
Why not?
Because.
Are you crazy?
What are you talking about?
They're making a Trump fucking network.
Yes, you don't know
That's all it's going to be.
Donald Trump wants to buy Newsmax.
Okay.
Think about this.
Think about it.
4
Newsmax.
years of shitting on Biden. He cannot. Donald Trump buys a news media outlet?
Because I don't want to talk over everyone. What channel is Newsmax?
I don't fucking know. It's a conservative news channel.
Because it doesn't have a fucking channel.
What do you mean?
Because it doesn't have a channel. It's an internet thing.
And Donald Trump
will
let him have it.
No, he's going to make it
who cares?
Donald Trump is
okay, if you're going to stop Donald Trump from taking over Newsmax.
I'm not stopping him. I want him to.
Okay, me too.
Yeah,
fucking take it over. Spit all the fucking nonsense you want. If you listen to it, you're an idiot. That's it.
But people are going to.
I understand that. The people listen to the Young Turks and Chink Unger as well. The guy's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Young Turkeys are funny. I like that. He's funny.
Okay, they're a big part of the problem that we have in this country because they push that fucking agenda.
I agree.
The same thing as that Trump's network will do. They're going to push that skewed conservative agenda.
Yeah.
So it's whatever.
And I enjoy the beef with Fox
But
News.
my point is this, is that it's not like a mainstream news network.
You're talking about
It's not Fox, it's not CNN, it's not MSNBC, it's not BBC, it's not ABC, CBS. Those are your main networks.
Jesse, 72 million people voted for Donald Trump. If he opens a news network.
Okay, if you really want to go down this road.
But
okay,
I understand what Jesse's saying.
48% of the country didn't cast a vote. So
That's true.
now we're arguing half of a half. Right?
Yes.
So a quarter of the country is beefing.
Yes.
The other 48% is eye rolling, going about their business. You know what I'm saying?
But we knew that.
Also, let's be realistic here. That half of the country that did cast those votes didn't vote for the fucking psychos spouting. Like, they voted because they vote. I agree with this one thing, so I'm going to vote for Trump. I'm not a racist. I voted for Trump and I'm not a racist. That's impossible according to some shitheads.
Right.
But maybe that happened.
According
I'm
to
not a socialist.
Chink Unger and the
Oh my
Young
God,
Turks.
I voted for Biden, but I'm not a socialist. Is that really
According
possible?
to the Trump News Network, that's
You're
impossible.
a fucking psycho.
Back to labeling.
Right.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's
No,
right.
I mean, this is actually a great point. Not to like switch topics here because I want to get back to this, but a great point was made. I forgot exactly who said it. Maybe it was Tim Pool. I forget who I was listening to. I was just going about my shit. But it was what the fuck did he say now? It just escaped me.
Well, sorry,
I don't even smoke today.
I know. That's the problem.
Maybe that's the problem.
And that's the second time that's happened.
Listen, it'll come back to you, but also in honor of what you've been going through with your crazy family members, I made a post for you. I did it on Facebook, and it read,
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Thanksgiving advice. This Thanksgiving advice is for everyone.
You're available to be someone's 11th?
No. They say you're not supposed to talk about politics with family. I call bullshit on that. Because if you can't talk to people you do know about people you don't know, that's a big problem.
Big problem.
And
agreed.
If shit hits the fan, flip the table over.
Don't. Jesse, come on. Jesse will do that if the turkey's really juicy and delicious.
No, guys, I don't fucking get politically charged with people. It's
No,
like
I said you get foodly charged.
Oh, yeah.
If it's a delicious meal, Jesse will get angry.
But I'm giving. Listen,
what were we talking about before?
No, but what I'm saying is, people have to be open-minded, have a conversation. But guess what? If you're losing the conversation, flip the table over. Okay.
He's still trying to figure shit out over there.
I know.
I forgot it because it was. What were we talking about leading up to me saying?
We're talking about
the news networks.
Network that Donald Trump's going to own. And guess what? He's going to take Hannity with him. I can see
Take him.
I can see it. Hannity, Tucker.
I don't know. Tucker's been critical of him lately, hasn't
Bullshit.
he?
Hannity?
Hasn't he? I don't know. I'm asking.
I don't watch Fox News.
I do. I watch it. No, he's not. Hannity, Tucker.
Oh, all right.
He'll probably bring the press secretary. Should get her own show. Candace Owens may actually get her own show. That should be fucking on
She has her own
steroids.
show. It's called the Candace Owens Show.
Not on
Just as popular as Newsmax because they're both on the internet.
I know, but he's going to have a real TV show. Like, you're going to go on the clicker.
No, you won't. No, he won't.
If Donald Trump...
He has
You don't
to
think he's
buy
gonna
a
get
news
arrested?
network.
He will.
Okay.
Is Donald Trump going to get arrested?
Yes. In New York, Donald Trump's going to get arrested.
I don't know about arrested, accused. I mean,
No.
It doesn't matter.
They're waiting. He's going to get arrested in New York.
That's been the big thing. Donald Trump
Which is
getting arrested.
most likely why he moved his residence
to Florida.
Because then New York and Florida have to commingle and fucking
then
get him back.
And DeSantis is going to be like,
But I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Because guess what? Fucking rich people don't get arrested like that.
That's what I was about to say. He can't fight that. He don't got money for this?
Of course he can.
Even Wesley Snipes tried to pay
course he
some of
can.
his taxes back. They said no. They made
Okay, well, whatever. I forgot the whole other point I was
he
going
did try
to
to
make
pay.
there. One of the things I wanted to get back to is that this is how fucked up the United States government is that Rand Paul, I think, tweeted this out recently. Maybe that's where I read it, but I definitely read it in an article. But either way, so the United States government on the first stimulus package sent out 1.1 million checks
to dead people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big number.
That's a big number.
It's a big number.
Now, if you're a registered Democrat, you didn't have to request it. You just got mailed a mail-in ballot. There was no way. Now, I'm not trying to go down the whole conspiracy end of election fraud, but listening to Bush's attorney, he said recently that I mean, there's a fraud in every election. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so like they already know that shit. That shit happens, right?
So they maximized it.
Absolutely, and this is where the mail-in ballots come in because it's like, oh, okay, we can, you know what I mean?
But I told you that.
You're
They
going to tell
maximize-
me that if your dead spouse or someone who's passed away in the last year got a mail-in
All right,
ballot, you're not going to fill it in and send it to
The
them?
question
You know what I
is
mean?
how many were Biden and how many were Trump?
Yeah, someone
Because
got
both sides definitely
Trump
did it
got busted
equally.
for that too. Somebody
For sure.
Okay, the governor of a state called out another state because someone's filled out for his dead mother.
Let's take New York. All right, yeah, so
For Trump.
Let's take New York, for
now,
example.
Here we go.
Let's take New York.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And
Hold
this
on,
is
let's
not-
take New York's for example.
Yeah.
New York is generally known as a blue state, right?
deep blue.
Boroughs.
But how much when you take the landmass of people that are blue, how much of that really? Because
Is the
think about
state?
it. Think about how red New York really is.
But that's the population.
Extremely red.
That's
But
the population
so you're telling me?
density of
Hold
the
on,
city.
hold on. Tell me, you're telling me that people that kind of mail in. Oh shit, my dead relative got. Well,
Oh, I
let's
see
see
what
if we
you're
can
saying.
make it red.
Yeah.
It's both ways. It goes. For sure.
Oh yeah, this is not a the only thing that I'm saying is that
That's still-
if you're a registered Republican, the GOP didn't just mail out ballots to everyone. If you're a registered Democrat, you didn't have to request a mail-in ballot. They just sent you one.
Yes, they maximize the laziness.
They just sent it to you.
Listen, what they did is, okay.
Which, to me, begs the question.
Why didn't the Republicans do it?
No, not that. How could you be sure that someone didn't vote twice? How could you be sure someone didn't fill in their mail-in ballot, send it in, and then go to the polls on election day?
I don't know that, but
how?
I don't know that, but
Scan it.
Scan what?
They scan it.
What?
The mail-in ballot scans. It goes in as you voted.
Yeah, it has a barcode.
It does. It barcodes. You can't vote twice.
They're not attached to a name. They're anonymous.
What do you mean?
No. They know.
Your
Trust
ballots
me.
are anonymous. Your name is not
It happened
attached
to my
to
father.
it. Your name is not attached
That's how
to
they
it. though.
It happened to my father.
They
He couldn't vote because they said you voted already. And it was a big thing, and they fixed it. Bottom line is...
Because he didn't really vote?
Right. But bottom line is...
And also...
That's crazy, though.
But bottom line is... It
Wow.
got fixed.
You see that? I want to look into that now because that doesn't make any sense because they are supposed to be anonymous.
And I'm going to tell you something.
Your name is attached to it. How is it anonymous?
And I'm going to tell you something. Okay, since the Obama election, Democrats have been chasing more voting, right? So now just think of it as a simple math problem. Don't think of it with the politics and everything. Their issue is how do we get the same record turnout that we got during Obama? Because in their mind, they didn't get that with Hillary, which is why she lost. She did win the popular.
They didn't.
No,
What
she
do you
did.
mean?
No, because she won the popular vote, but she didn't win the college vote.
Right. You gonna tell me that more people showed up for Joe Biden than showed up for President Obama?
Yeah.
Yes, and that's
Yes.
only because of the hate for Trump.
Yes, but what I'm trying, but what I'm trying to tell you is, they solved the critical problem by maximizing the Corona issue and introducing the mail-in voting. They said, how do we get more people to vote? Easy, send this shit to their fucking house. I know it sounds crazy, but they literally figured out something that they couldn't figure out. Like, you can't get more people. Like, the idea that someone's going to knock on your door, let's go, guys, let's go vote.
I don't think that'll ever happen again, though.
No, because there won't be another Corona crisis.
I think absentee ballots are going to go back to absentee ballots.
Yeah, no,
if you are out of the country or you're out of the state on election day, then you can request one.
It was a coronavirus crisis, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. They capitalized on the pandemic. I'm just telling you.
It was a chess move.
It's how you play it.
Yeah, no, it was a great strategy.
Jesse, it's how you play the game. The cornerback goes down, you go after the new guy. As soon as he comes in,
I just hate
that's how you play the game.
When are we as Americans going to be over that?
No, we'll never.
We are. It's just unfortunately
we're not. And
we're getting run on our emotions.
Is that
Jesse,
just bringing it back to the taxes thing,
cheating.
right? Like you were talking about taxes, right? Mm-hmm. We'll never have another Boston Tea Party because we're too materialistic.
That's facts.
Americans are not willing to give up what they already have to make a change.
That's facts.
You know, so we'll never fight with the government because the government already controls our lives and makes it a little cushy for us.
That's facts.
You know?
That's also why when people talk all that Civil War nonsense, I'm like, so you're going to leave your $80,000 truck, $3 million home
right.
to pick up a gun and go shoot someone three states away. Not go back to work, sir.
I mean, listen, like there is a part of me, I've been thinking about this.
You're going to leave your rap career to fucking you and your homeboys.
Never mind that. Or even your $80,000 career and your nice car at home and your house that's not $1 million, but $300,000.
That's what I'm saying.
But you lose all your money, you lose the house.
No, I agree. I'm trying to show you that there's no demographic where it makes sense. You're going to leave gangbanging to go somewhere where someone's going to blow your head off with a shotgun. Like,
right, but if we do move down that progressive that progressive lane, like we all people are claiming that we are. I don't think we're going to get there in the next 2 to 3 years because Biden is.
We're never going to
Trump
get there.
2.0. Well, don't say never.
Never.
Don't say never.
Never. America's.
If that does happen, then you know what I mean. Like, yeah, I think that once the government comes in and starts seizing private property, if we ever get to that point,
that won't happen.
It's part of the manifesto. It's part of the plan. Okay, it's part of the progressive agenda. Private property ceases to exist. Okay? There is no more of that. The government controls the means of production and everyone's shit.
Jesse.
You rent your place from the government.
Jesse, do you think that rich people are just going to give up their homes? Rich people.
I don't think that rich people are going to have a choice.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
Like what? Jesse.
Do you need to go back through history?
Jesse.
I think we need to go back through history then,
Go.
if you don't know what I'm saying.
What, other than France, when do rich people just... willfully give shit away.
No one's going to willfully give anything away.
So
it's going to be forcefully taken.
You think they're going to forcefully take shit from rich people?
Yes.
How?
The people that fund them.
Exactly. They fund them. They're in Congress. They make the laws. How, Jesse? How?
You're talking about current. I'm saying in another 8 to 10 years of a progressive agenda push.
Jesse,
hold on. No, because we're going to go down.
No. I'm not even.
You want to talk about current? Fine, we're going to talk about current. No. The government is not going to take anything from rich people.
I know, but
because Joe Biden and most of the DNC are in rich people's pockets.
Okay.
Yes.
So
okay. Your AOCs and the people that she is.
AOC's not
don't roll your eyes.
Either.
You don't realize how big she is.
I know she's big, but she's not taking your house.
The AOCs of the world, and the army that they're fucking building online of these college students, they're eventually going to get old. Some of them are getting into politics.
I get it.
I know some of them that
How
are.
many of them change the way they
idolize
think?
her?
How many of them change the way they think over time?
I'm saying that they're being taught that America is this evil, racist, imperialistic country that needs to be squashed.
I think that is the most.
That capitalism is the root of evil, and that we need to do away with capitalism.
I think that I think you've taken.
I don't see it happening.
I think you've taken some things that people say and you've brought it to the complete extreme, which is not bad.
No. I'm saying that. I'm bringing it to the complete extreme. I mean, that's what's been done for the last 4 years.
I know,
right?
But
the Tiki Torch men are going to come down and they're going to burn people. It's like,
Jesse, listen. George Bush was going to be bad.
I'm talking about a progressive push.
Obama was going to take away people's guns. His second term, he was supposed to do this. Donald Trump was going to start a race war. And Joe Biden is going to, these are all things that I've heard. These are things I've heard.
Okay.
None of it happened. In the year 2000.
What are you talking about? There's a race war currently.
No, there is a racial divide that we've had for over 400
I just remember what I was going to say before.
We have a racial divide for over 200 years. It's not a race war.
No. There's literal cities on fire still to this day. Currently, New York City, if you walk through New York City right now, you're never going to recognize it because everything is boarded up.
Yeah,
but that's not a race war.
They did that because people were fucking smashing shit and breaking things. And
that wasn't over race. There was a lot of white people doing that with black people.
In the name of black people. So there's a race war.
In the name of policing. In the name of policing.
Listen, I agree. I understand that. But I'm saying that the sides that are fighting don't. I'm not out there fighting. I'm not punching someone that's trying to break a fucking window. You want to bust up the city? Bust up the city. I don't fucking live there.
What America is experiencing is an intellectual revolution. There are people who just don't want to be told anything. They don't this is the fight over facts. The fact that terms like alternative facts, fake news, things like that, I'm not saying they're not real because there are outlets that perpetuate fake news. There are people who manipulate numbers. However, the thought process in American mindset right now that they can just shun away from something. What people do is, this is what this is. I don't care about that. And they just turn this way and turn away. That is what we're fighting. It looks like a race war, but realistically, we're fighting the fact that with more access to information than ever, people are deciding and choosing what information matters to them. And they're acting out on it.
Obama divided the country. Trump magnified it. Police brutality magnified it even more.
But
we're on the brink. So what I was saying just before was not today, not 2 years from now, not 5 years from now, but the more that we push down this progressive agenda, I understand that it's not the majority of the left right now, but it's starting to take over. It's doubled in size. That movement has doubled in size since 2016. So I'm just looking at trends. And then when you look further into what these kids are pushing and the things that they're saying, it gets scary because what they're teetering on is the Communist Manifesto. And I'm not saying this for a buzzword or to be, you know what I'm saying? And when you look at what that is, it's a seizure of private property.
Okay.
And a lot of kids do believe that. I've already been told that what I do, real estate investing, is evil. You should not own more than one house when other people don't own one. oh, excuse the fuck out of me for being successful. You know what I'm saying? So that is something that scares me. I don't know how to fight that.
Listen.
You know what I mean?
Listen. Americans should always be afraid of extremists. That's an extreme person.
Sure.
That's extremist. But I'll also tell you this.
I mean, is it extreme when a majority of people are saying it?
No,
majority of people are not.
A majority of young people. Majority of young people.
But here's how I look at it.
The 35 pluses
aren't saying that.
Aren't really saying that. There are some. Don't get me wrong. There are kids that are, I graduated with that are fucking extreme as well,
because they don't have a house.
But a majority of young kids right now are saying
but
this.
I also say, if you look by the numbers, I think America is a centrist country, no matter how people feel about it. I think that's, even from our forefathers, that's why we have the systems of checks and balances.
Sure.
And realistically, America automatically self-corrects. Whether you like it or not, it's what it does. You go Republican, and you go Democrat, you go Republican. It always happens. The country just self-corrects. So if it goes too left or goes too right, it self-corrects. The problem is that people on both sides really think that the train's going to go one way. Like, we will never have 16 years straight of any one type of presidency and Senate.
Let's knock on wood.
Okay. No, I agree with you.
I agree with you. I think that's one of the best things about America is that usually every 8 years we change over.
That's what it would take. It would take 16 years of a party control to lead us down anything.
And just looking from the last presidential debates, and even just the president-elect type of debates and stuff, just looking at that whole dais was completely different.
Come on,
they all
man.
thought differently too.
On what?
Like Democrats.
Did they though? Not really. I mean, they all pretty much align on
Come on, man.
most things, with the exception of
you're a racist.
Joe Biden, because I mean, when Biden eventually Andrew Yang would be the other, and then maybe Tulsi. But even Tulsi still kind of.
She's Hawaiian.
And realistically,
I like Tulsi.
Even Kamala thought differently than Joe Biden. It's just that she was like, I'm going to play some games now.
Didn't she call him like a racist sexual assaulter?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
she fucking blew up the whole Me Too movement with that move right there. She just fucking said, done. Fuck that movement.
I agree.
Fuck it.
Free Johnny.
Fuck it. I can become vice president? Yeah.
Free Johnny Depp.
Touch somebody.
Free Johnny Depp. Free Johnny Depp. But go ahead. Sorry.
Don't get me started, motherfucker.
Yeah, I know. You were the first one to put me on that. But go ahead.
But
guys,
I'm just saying, she's extreme. Kamala is extreme. She speaks extreme, right? She says extreme things.
When you say that, you say that a lot. I don't hear.
You're
that.
right. A lot of people, because I agree with that. People say that Bernie Sanders is an extreme leftist, and he's not even. He's considered centrist in most other countries.
No, I'm not fooling that. I'm not.
I agree with you.
Okay.
If someone says, there's too many kinds of deodorant on the shelf, we should make this only one kind.
No, but. You're
a fucking lunatic.
People do it, but Bernie Sanders is at least honest about everything he says, because he runs on a democratic socialist platform. So where's the hiding? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's telling you what he's about.
Sure.
He believes in democratic socialism. Now, it's up to you to say, what does that mean and what does it look like?
Is it up to him to
explain it to you? Yeah, exactly. Okay. And I remember when I watched him with Joe Rogan.
Because I thought
that was a great episode, because I didn't really think, like, even Joe Rogan was like, it's not as bad as you think, because we are the last generation that was mindfully taught that capitalism and communism and socialism are life and death strategies. Like, I'm not saying I would want to be socialist or communist, but I'm saying I think that any system that you do comes down to the will of the people to execute it. If there's a complete buy-in between the people and the government that runs by the people, we can execute any financial system. Once again, I'm not saying I'm going capitalism or communism. I'm just saying it's about doing it right. My big issue right now is capitalism is great, but we're doing things that are uncapitalistic. We talk about this all the time. We're bailing out companies that go under because they overpay their CEOs and buy boats and yachts. Like that's not
We're
my
already a
fucking
democratic socialist.
Yeah, that's not my fucking problem. Taxing overtime at 50% rate, while like it's 26 to 40, then it's 50% for every. Like that's ridiculous to me. These are things that we have to sit there as a society and say, yeah, the train's going a little bit to the left or to the right, and we got to fix it because capitalism is not broken. I'm with you 100%, and I think you should have the right to be able to have multiple homes and things like that. But I also say to myself, I walk by boarded up homes that no one owns, that are run down for years, and homeless people. So somewhere as a country we can fix this. Like, why is that home boarded up for 4 or 5 years, and why are there homeless people?
Why exactly?
Why can't someone figure that out?
We can, and this again, I could talk. I could talk on this just because this is what I do now.
Or incentivize you to buy that property and make it a homeless shelter, get you tax kickbacks, and everyone fucking wins. Make sure the homeless people aren't on drugs, have them tested, whatever. Not in Oregon, but make sure no one's tested, and then put it all together. I get I'm doing the whole life's a bigger dream thing, but
no. You're missing key components because what you're saying is morally beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely, 100%. But now what it comes down to is who's
making money and who's not.
Not even the money. This is why I'm always fucking harping on the government sucks, and it's always in the middle. It's always in the middle of progression because me as an investor, I would love to come in and buy this house and fix it up and fix up this whole area.
Yes.
Oh, y'all are homeless? How about this? I'll give you a job fixing this up, and then we can talk about working out a rent for you.
Yes.
Living here.
Yes.
No problem. I'll get you hooked up on government assistance.
Yep.
I'll take my money from the government in Section 8. No, I have no qualms of this.
Yeah.
But I can't buy that house.
Because
the town has too much regulations.
Yeah, I get it.
And if you want to, you have to jump through fucking hoops, and you got to spend thousands of dollars getting the proper permits, and then getting this, and then applying for this permit, and then bringing in an inspector, and it's like afangul. That's why these houses just are. How much is that house? Oh, you don't live in this state? It's been abandoned for 3 years. It's my fucking great aunt's house. I want nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? Like this is the angle I've been going down.
No, I get it.
I'm trying to find abandoned houses, people that live out of state, and I'm trying to buy the deeds from them.
Yeah. No, I get it. I just think that it's
now that I just exposed my fucking strategy.
Yeah. No, I think it's an opportunity, and I think that I think Americans focus too much on extremes, and when a majority of the country, you just said it, 40%, 48% didn't vote, period, and I think most of the country's here. And you know what? More people voted for Trump, more people voted for Biden, and there are more independents than ever. So it's happening. People are jumping ship left and right. More black men voted for Donald Trump than ever. People are jumping ship and right because they're trying to find their way. As a country, we're trying to find our way, and we have to let the process play out. The problem is you're a little frustrated, and so am I a little bit, that there's a big money propaganda machine. But what do you want me to do? They've loaded up their arsenals. It is what it is. It's up to Americans to make the decision to research and figure out what is it that's important to them. I can't tell you what's important to you.
Well, there's also
just like people shouldn't try to tell me what should be important to me. Like, you should care that. Like, I don't. It's the same angle.
I agree. That's the righteousness that we always talk about.
Yeah. And this is why it's like so polarizing.
I always tell people, I go, if someone came up to you and you didn't know them and they told you to sit the fuck down, would you sit down? Exactly. And that's my point about telling someone how they should vote and the way they should think.
Yes.
Don't be a dick about it.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Agreed.
Maybe you'll get something out of what I'm going to say.
Fucking A right, doggy.
Right?
This is yes. And this is the big problem.
Once you start going to this and this and then this and then I'm like, I'm out.
People are incapable of having that conversation. I'm out. And I get it because I get to that point too where it's just like, oh no, it happens here where it's like you're missing what I'm trying to say. Like, how can I let me say this a different way so that you can understand what I'm saying? Because maybe I'm going about presenting it wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Or maybe you're just disagreed with.
Or maybe, yeah, sure.
And listen, being disagreed with, especially if you have an emotional attachment to something you feel. whether even it's a song. It gets down to we're musicians.
Yeah, that song sucks.
But I'll tell you this.
You see what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
I said, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, that thing's awesome.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah, but that,
Sure.
see, that kind of drives me crazy too, because I think this is where one of the issues I have. Like, I have zero issues with Republicans. I really don't have issues with Democrats. I don't even have issues with people who are Trump supporters or Biden supporters. It's the fanaticism.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your job as an
I got issues with white supremacists.
Yes.
And I got issues with Antifa.
Yes.
Which, because this is what I wanted to say before. I thought this was genius. I want to say, yeah, it was definitely Tim Pool that said it. So where the left went right,
That's pretty funny.
right? Where they went, actually, yeah, this actually works out in a pun here.
Yeah.
So where they went correct, or where they went right, was with Antifa, there isn't a person.
Yeah, there's no
head.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why it still works, and they're able to run around and do their destruction, because like the Proud Boys,
I hate to say this,
they
but
have a leader. They have a guy. You know what I mean? That guy has been banned from banks. That guy has been banned from, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a focal point. There's someone to focus on. That's why Joe Biden, it's like plausible deniability,
Not
right?
only that, but
he can get up there and be like, wait, Antifa. There's no such thing. Because who are you talking about?
Well,
who are you talking about?
the
right?
sad part of what you just described is
It's just smart.
is how you run terror cells.
Yes.
That's you basically,
Literally.
But they
Yeah.
all have leaders.
No, terror
Not
cells.
all the time.
Not all the time.
No?
They operate independently.
Think about it. The ones that had leaders, we've attacked.
Exactly.
And they're gone.
That's what happens. So what happens is they form
Terrorism isn't gone. There's
No,
still
yeah.
caliphates out there, right?
No,
that are
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
terrorizing
and
places.
and
but
their ideology.
they
creates
probably
more
learned this
followers.
off of
Yeah, that's
the
exactly-
American left here, off of Antifa and how
Well,
they
there's been
did that,
terrorism
you know?
forever. So.
Yeah, terrorism.
I'm saying Antifa's been around for a long time too. You know what I mean? Like this isn't a new thing in
I think they just
2016.
got called out. I don't think. I think that Antifa gets credit for a lot of. It's almost like when you hear like terrorists and then someone claims like credit for something that
Sure.
happened when they didn't, but it just gets them on the map. I think both Proud
Right.
Boys and Antifa were both able to gain more. I never heard of Proud Boys till a debate. Think about that. I've never heard.
really?
About, no, never heard about those guys ever.
Right, because they're not. Because they're not a problem.
Yeah, and even when they were said, like Joe Biden said, like in a whisper, like yeah, the Proud Boys. Like he didn't make it sound like Gene, wake up, the fucking Proud
Wasn't
Boys.
that started
Like,
because
he made
of
it sound
Antifa?
like yeah, get rid of your homeboys. That's
Yeah, the Proud
acting
Boys
up.
was started because of Antifa. It was like a counter.
Right? It was like a counter. They were going to like.
They were like, no, you're not going to fuck up our shit.
Right.
You know, we're
that's-
Americans. This
Because
is
there's
our
always
country.
been white supremacy, and if you think about it, Antifa is the exact opposite of the KKK, because the KKK had a hierarchy, they had leaders, they had sub leaders,
Right.
they had like a government.
Right.
Yeah, but here's the most.
Instead of a
The funny
fucking
thing-
government.
Yeah, but the most
thing-
dangerous thing about the KKK and what people always have to put in perspective about the KKK is that the KKK wore hoods for a reason. The
Right.
KKK are your bankers, they were
Yeah.
your teachers, doctors, lawyers, judges,
course.
police officers.
where-
There's a reason.
That's where that
why
white supremacist
the-
joke comes
exactly,
in.
This is why KKK is.
I
like,
know those
scary.
sneakers. I saw it at the rally, right? Because like that's how you identify
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
When you, I know those sneakers. But yeah, I mean, regardless, it's. You're right. Yeah, I think that you're right, because it's the ironic thing that I was going to say before is that it's funny that Antifa is considered anti-fascist, yet you use fascist tactics. That makes me head tilt.
Emotion.
You know, no, just yeah. I mean, like
But
the shutting, like
takes
you're,
over.
You're literally acting as a fascist in the name of anti-fascism.
Yeah, but
That
this-
one catches me,
this
and I
is-
don't understand how
this-
these young kids buy into it.
But this is what happens because our generation, when we went to school, our understanding of words like fascism, like communism, like racism is completely different than the understanding today. Like you're talking about us, you're talking about
Right.
Hitler,
But that's a problem.
Stalin, Gorbachev. You're talking about different era of what we knew, Ronald Reagan, what we knew of it. These kids don't know any of it. What they're getting is they're getting the watered down 70-year-olds yelling those words to them, and they're defining it for themselves. And that's how shit like that. I'm telling you.
Okay, I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you a personal story here.
This is what you need to believe.
Exactly.
So now they go extreme.
I'll tell you a personal story.
And then they start the other extreme because
Exactly.
they're yelling at people saying, well, this is what I think.
Right.
And
If
it's
you-
just...
if you
Right.
push on
It
someone,
goes
they
deeper
push
than what
back.
you're saying. It goes deeper into what you're saying. This is why I've always been spouting out about education, right? So here's a personal story. I have an aunt who's a history teacher.
Yeah.
Right. This is probably 4 or 5 years ago now. She got called into the administrator's office and says, "This is the new curriculum. You need to teach this." And she said, "No, I am a history teacher. You hired me to teach American history. I'm going to teach American history." And they basically said, "You're going to follow this new format and teach this new material, or you don't work here anymore." And she resigned that day.
Yeah, but
So
Jesus.
that's a rabbit hole in itself.
But I'm just saying, this is the,
I always struggle with that one. Because okay,
Well, history
when
is
you
so
say-
watered down now as it is.
When you say American history, okay, are we allowed to tell? Okay, the greatness of our history. So the George Washington, the Battle of Bunker Hill, the fucking migration out west, the expansion of colonies. Do we say it like that, or do we talk about the manifest destiny when we literally said, like, the United States as Americans, we are destined to take over this, which is basically saying, implying that whatever it takes, we're going to do. Do we talk about, the raid on Indians by Andrew Jackson and those type of guys? Or do we just talk about, Lewis and Clark and the expansion, how romantic that was with the whole Pocahontas?
talk about all of it. But it's like you don't.
do we really?
You don't X out.
No, he's
certain
saying
things.
you should talk
talk
about
about
that's
all
what I'm
of
saying,
it.
but
You're asking Dewey. No.
Not anymore.
And that's why.
But
never
you learned
did.
about that shit. You learned about how we savagely brutalized the Indians out west and took the West? No.
Not my school.
I don't
What do
think
you mean?
I don't think it was like that. Like
you were taught that the Indians were nice people and
Bro,
they just gifted us the land.
we were talking.
We learned about Thanksgiving and how they had a party.
Patterson literally created what is known as a tank now.
Yes.
Via Indians by putting a Gatling gun on the back of a
Truck.
of a fucking.
No, I understand that. I understand that.
And he's mowing people down on horseback.
I didn't-
riding through the desert.
I know, but
you know what I mean.
But they don't talk about that because
Not anymore.
because
How do I know this? You know what? I'll tell you this.
I know it from after school.
I
I know it because I always read, but too
I
much.
learned because I was a history major when I went away to college. Really,
Yeah.
I went
And
away to
that's the
college.
difference.
I went away to college to play football.
Football, yeah.
But once I got to college, I had American history, and it goes a little bit deeper than high school history.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm
That's
talking about high
where
school history.
High school history doesn't teach you
And that's where it should.
When you go through like the slave trade.
Yes.
When you start learning about that, I was shocked. And again, I was like uber liberal at this point in college. I was pissed off at my freshman year American history teacher because he taught the slave trade in a different way as a way of we didn't like European
It was already being
colonists
done, and we just did it.
European colonists didn't come in and ravage and ransack Africa. There was already trades being going on. It was other dominant African tribes that would
sell that people. Just
wrangle up the weaker tribes around them and sell them.
Yeah.
So it's like you learn that and you're like, well, you're a fucking liar, man, because my high school teacher said that we're an evil imperialistic country who raped and pillaged and ravaged these countries and stole their people and built our country on the backs of them, not knowing that it was a
Combination of both, maybe?
a handshake trade.
Yeah, but-
here's goods for you. Thank you for the people.
No,
Granted, I'm not trying to justify it.
No, I
Slavery
get
was
it.
a horrible thing. You're treating
I'm with you,
you're
but-
treating human beings as goods,
Yeah,
and
but-
that's awful. But my point with
No, I get you, but
education
yeah.
is that it's not taught properly. It's like we soften things up.
Yes.
And nowadays, it's again because I have cousins that are either just out of high school, finishing up high school, first couple years in college right now. So like I hear it from all sides, and they're taught that we're just a piece of shit country who's done evil things throughout our history.
I think that's an overcorrection, guy.
I think it's a gross interpretation of America.
No, it's an overcorrection.
To think that America hasn't provided any sort of good to the world since we've been a country. It's just a gross interpretation, a misinterpretation, I think.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
yeah. I agree. It's the back and forth.
That's what I'm saying.
I know what's going to happen.
The problem is, it's like I said, America always self-corrects. The problem is we overcorrect. And sometimes it just and that's what's happening in school. They overcorrect. It's like
trying to overcorrect.
For so many years, Christopher Columbus was the hero, and then it's like now you want to bring it all down all at once and explain to kids he wasn't, and this is why, and da, da, da. It's like
why go to other countries and there's fucking statues of Genghis Khan?
I'm with you.
Do you know what that?
Because
what he did?
Because
Genghis Khan was literally
yeah. But
he was the Mao of his time.
He was the Hitler of Hitlers.
Yeah.
He was worse than Hitler.
No, he was the Hitler of Hitlers.
Okay, sure. That's what I mean. He was like the Mao of his time. Like he murdered more people.
But he consists of like a crazy percentage, not number-wise, but like when you really look at it, the percentage of people whose lineage goes back to him is
amazing. It's extremely
forever.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, the number, it's not like 50% or anything, but it's like, there's a percentage, which is crazy.
Yeah.
There's a tangible number. It's not like 0.000000. There's a number.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
But my point being is, Christopher Columbus.
We're gonna have to have an American history podcast one of these days.
But he did some.
I actually like where he's going.
Well, there's Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. You learn about all this shit.
We may have to open it.
What is it?
Dan Carlin's Hardcore History.
What is that?
It's something that Joe Rogan always speaks about. He basically.
Oh yeah, that's why it rings a bell.
Hardcore History.
Then.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he picks things, and he goes like in.
Oh, yo, that's cool.
And that's where you learn about
cool.
That's why I think it's Genghis Khan. Technically, it's not.
Oh, it's not Genghis.
Apparently not. I don't
Genghis
fucking
Khan?
know. I could be wrong. Whatever.
Sounds like someone's using that G a little too loosely.
Sorry. Point being is.
It should be silent like lasagna.
Yeah, Columbus did some shitty things.
Lil Wayne.
You know what I mean? But regardless of how you want to look at it, you're here being able to spit your mouth off in any way about your leaders, your government, and not getting fucking...
Essentially because of him.
Essentially,
sure.
That started that movement. Well, technically, it did. It started the movement. And then in the 1600s is when we had our first little fucking area, which, by the way, the whole country was funded...
Was Virginia?
The whole country started off of the back of just on tobacco. Yeah. This country got funded on tobacco. And by the way, there were black people here as free people.
Yes.
Not slaves. Which is where it gets real fucked up.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's like the original people here were black and free. Part of them. Some of them.
And I give you another one that people forget all the time too. When America was started, the idea was to help build the English Empire. It was supposed to help it flourish.
Right.
And then a bunch of people was like, "Fuck that!" Like people forget that part. That's why
we're crushing it over here, dealing with shit we've never dealt with, that we've never seen,
and we need to send you money.
Exactly. Fuck you.
And that's what happened. And the reason why that's important is because
fuck you.
A country built on revolution will always have to repeat it in some way, shape, or form.
Sure.
Whether we go through intellectual one, whether we're going through a rights revolution.
We're going through an emotional one right now.
Yes, we are. And you know why? Because, like, when you say Obama split the country, what I think happened is Obama's presidency ushered overcorrection called political correctness. And then Donald Trump brought back free speech, for lack of a better term.
When I say that Obama split the country, I don't mean white and black.
You mean just...
I mean Republican and Dem. That's where the fucking... the big gap came.
Because...
Or split came. Divide. Divide and conquer, Joe.
Since Obama's second term, there's never been a real focus on what policy is anymore.
Sure.
Even with Bill Clinton, you knew what he was about.
Right.
That's why it's like... When people talk about the crime bill, that was actually Democrats trying to make Republicans happy. They wanted to prove we're just as tough as you
on crime, right? And then but there's your overcorrection again.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
You know, like chill, buddy. Do what it is what you do.
Yeah.
You fight for this, we fight for that. We say no, you say yeah. We fight all day. Just like when Bill Clinton did a welfare reform bill, that was his way of saying, "All right, I get it.
We spend too much.
You guys are mad.
Right.
Here you go."
Well, think about what I was going to say before. The last time there's been more than 8 years of a Republican was
George Bush.
That was the into the 12.
You won't see
and that shit went right the fuck out after 4 years.
You know why? Because
no, George Senior only had 4. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the last time there was more than 8 years of one side was Reagan to George Bush Senior.
Oh,
yes.
See what you're saying. And then Bush only had 4 years.
Yes.
And he got 4 years because of the whole new taxes thing, and
which is always a lie. And then on top of that,
and then my man Bill Jeff slides right in those DMs.
You know the war on drugs. The war on drugs explodes.
Saxophone and all, baby.
Which is all right.
Sorry.
No, that's right.
I just went off in my own world there.
Oh, yeah, and I forgot to mention gargoyles. It was eating at me all week.
Yes, when you said
I was so fucking pissed.
Gargoyles.
I didn't even watch Gargoyles. I don't think. Or maybe I did. I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember.
How good
I don't
Gargoyles
remember.
is on
I might
Disney
have.
Plus. Okay,
just watch it. Just watch it.
I watched
if you're not hooked immediately after one episode,
I didn't remember.
Gargoyles is fucking classic.
Tell you. I don't remember.
I know. Like I was mad. I'm like gargoyles.
And that is what's happening to the great and amazing pastime American actor Johnny Depp.
I agree. You know what? Shout out to JP on this one because he mentioned it.
I've been stewing about it.
I was like, yeah, it's fucked up.
And all of a sudden,
now I'm like, you know what? Nah, this is fucking wrong.
All of a sudden, there's posts
No
everywhere.
one watches Aquaman 2. You heard it here first.
I know, but I really wanted to see a part 2.
Melissa even said, she's like, I love him. I won't watch it.
Yeah, you want to make a statement?
I was like, wow.
You want to make a statement? Don't watch Aquaman 2. When they get hit in the box office, then we will stop with this overcorrection because like he said, which we made fun of last episode, but when a woman speaks, they're automatically right. That is the overcorrection. For years, women spoke. We did not listen. So now anyone that speaks, we listen.
Right. It's an overcorrection.
Overcorrection. It can't happen.
We're not even listen. We believe undeniably.
Yes. Undeniably.
Because there is that movement, believe all women. That's a real thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Which is an overcorrection.
Yeah, but Bill Burr put the fucking bomb on that too.
I agree.
Melissa asked me this because we were talking about it, right? And she goes, I forgot actually how we got into that. But whatever. It turned into, she's like, so you're saying like if you came home and I was drowning one of our kids. I think Bill Burr may have said this exact thing that she
about
said.
punching
And she said, she's like, you know, what would you do? I was like, and like you drowned one, you were about to drown another one, I'd knock you the fuck out.
Is a kid?
She's like, but you wouldn't kill me. I was like, no, I wouldn't kill you. She's like, because you love me.
What the fuck type of sick?
I was like, what kind of sick shit are we getting into here?
I would have got to the bathroom. I would have cleaned through every single thing that looked like a mess.
And I go, listen. I go, Melissa, you're ride or die. Like I'm with you to the end. I'm with you to the end.
This is what couples go through. Holy shit!
Again,
but if you drowned one of our kids and you were working on the next one,
you might kill her.
I wouldn't kill you. I'd knock you the fuck out.
Which might kill her, but you wouldn't be thinking about that.
And I said, I go, and I might kill you with the shot. You know, like I did say that to her.
I don't know. I think he'd hit her really hard.
Like, would I go to like murder you? No. It would be immediate save the kid and knock you the fuck out.
Right.
So you can't hurt anyone. You know, and then I'd probably tie you up and call the police. And then this is where we got because we were talking about the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, and because I didn't understand, so I asked the lawyer. Right, this is where we got into it. It wasn't like a "do you hit women" thing. It was. I said, I was like, I just don't get like, if there's all this evidence of her being a crazy ass, of her cutting off his finger, other other relationships that he had came forward and said, "Nah, he's never been violent ever." Like, wouldn't have ever even said that. Like, how does the court rule against him there and rule in favor of her?
Because he did things to.
And well, I mean, essentially, this is where we got into it. And she said, she goes, so like she painted this scenario, and I said,
It's
Oh, and
scenario.
then she flipped it.
But whatever.
And then she flipped it.
That's what they
Scenario?
do.
Scenario?
So what's the
Potato,
scenario?
potato.
Come on,
Bro,
there's a song.
So what's the scenario?
Busta Rhymes breakout fucking verse.
So what's the scenario?
Here we go.
All right.
Here we go. Yo.
All right, I'm getting on with this one now. Fuck you,
So
go.
whatever. So she said, basically like if I started hitting you, what would you do? I was like, I would grab my phone, I'd lock myself in the bathroom, and I'd call the cops.
What?
And she was like, you what? You would? I go, absolutely. I go, now, this is something, you know how, like, you told me that women are taught at a young age to never walk down a dark street by themselves? Well, men are taught at a young age.
Don't hit a woman.
Not only don't hit a woman, fucking remove yourself from a crazy bitch's situation.
Facts.
Because you're going to jail.
Facts.
And she said, you call the police and you say, my wife just hit me.
They're not coming.
My wife just hit me. I locked myself in the bathroom. I'm not coming out until you guys get here. She's like, all I have to do when they walk in the door is say, you hit me, and you're getting arrested and going to jail. And I'm like, that's bullshit. I go, I'm the one who called. I'm the one who's saying I'm doing the right thing here. She goes, don't matter.
Unless you have video evidence.
She goes, you can then turn around and say, she hit me also, and then I also will go to jail.
Right.
Or get arrested. She goes, but in no way are you not getting arrested. And I'm like, yo, that's fucked up.
Can I tell you? I'll tell you crazy.
That's fucked up.
Bro.
This bitch cut off his finger with a glass she threw at him.
Yeah.
And he gets fired and goes to jail.
Let me tell you something. Yeah, bro. But that is how it works.
Because we overcorrect and we believe all women.
No, but this has been going for I can tell you. I remember I had a roommate one time. He, his psycho girlfriend, comes to the house. They get into a big argument, and she, I don't know what they did. She calls the cops out of nowhere, and she's like, "I'm gonna just tell them you hit me." So the cops show up, and the cops are like, what happened? She's like, hear me? He's like, I didn't touch her, blah, blah. The cops literally go, they pull them both aside, try to get the real story. And they're like, you're both going to go down. We're going to arrest both of you guys. And I remember because they ended up waking me up. And they're like, what happened? I'm like, they're both retarded. Nothing happened. I'm like, they yell at each other all the time. And the cops ended up going home. Or they would have locked them both up. That was it.
At a very young age, I witnessed it happen. I'm not going to disclose because it's way too close.
Yeah.
But let's just say someone that I know very, very well had a crazy ex who called the cops, said that he hit her. Cops came and arrested him from their house, and while he was in jail, she stole his bank cards and cleared him out. It was like over $40,000 cleared out. They couldn't do anything. Cops couldn't do anything.
That's fucking.
Even though he didn't hit her, it came out that he didn't hit her. Charges were dropped.
So hold
she
on.
fucking cleared out the bank account.
Let me get this
but
straight.
because they were married still, it's okay.
Yeah, they were married. Her name was probably on the bank. Yeah.
More story, separate accounts,
Well,
folks.
no. One of them was a separate account. But she had the card, had the PIN number. They were married.
So you're allowed to
But they were still married.
So he lost. I mean, like they were getting a divorce, clearly, but.
He says clearly.
Yeah. Enough. And I learned that at a young age.
I'll never forget.
Wow.
There was this
I
one
was probably
post.
10.
Offshore accounts.
There was this post of there was a woman on the ground on the phone with the cops. He's coming at, and she's totally lying, faking, and the guy's just sitting there videoing. Go ahead, keep going. I'm gonna show him this video when they get here, and
Nothing happened.
No, he had video of her lying to the police. If anything,
That's
a
crazy.
false. That's a false 911 call.
I'm just surprised that he still didn't get arrested or get taken away.
That's what I said. Video proof.
What, did they arrest her? Did they take her away? Who was removed from the situation to
Probably
dissolve
no one. It didn't show that, but probably no one. But in the end, he did not get. He
Well,
didn't get
I
arrested.
tell you what. At least we know now in a new Biden-Harris administration, there won't be cops sent there. There'll be a social worker,
Right.
And until a few social workers lose their lives
Whatever.
for trying to talk a murderer out.
A possible murderer,
A
Jesse.
possible murderer. You're right. I'm sorry. We
Son
still
of a
live in
bitch.
America.
Joe
Innocent until proven
Biden
guilty.
does not believe in
I know.
defunding
I'm
the
just
police.
fucking around.
Joe Biden.
I'm
Joe
just fucking around.
Joe Biden.
I think they already implemented some of this, or they're going to implement this in New York.
I know.
In
I can't
NYPD.
wait. I can't wait.
They're going to send social workers.
They're gonna be like,
instead.
At this point, I'd
This
be
is
like,
gonna be
wait.
fucking. I'm sorry.
I
Listen,
wouldn't-
to any social worker that may get harmed in this experiment, I'm sorry. But to you guys, this is fucking hilarious.
Bro.
Like,
I'm just gonna show you.
I get where the UK, where the people over in England are like, you guys look like a developing nation right now.
Let me
Because
tell
we
you
do. We look like we don't have our
I'm
shit
gonna
together.
give you a 30-second skit of how it's gonna go.
We just got out of jail.
Hey, police. Yeah, I got this social hit worker here tied up. Like, don't ever send this shit to my house again. I'm gonna throw her outside in 10 minutes. You wanna pick her up? Pick her up.
Right. Yeah.
Talk
I
to
mean,
me-
listen.
Talk to me about my kids.
Listen,
My wife. Fuck out of here.
maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Maybe they send both. Maybe they send the cop with the social worker, just the same way they send a whole fire
Social
truck
worker's
with
gonna
an
be demanding
ambulance.
stun guns. That's gonna be the best.
But I'm
And
saying
weapons. That's what's gonna happen.
the same way when they send an ambulance, they send
Yeah.
a fire truck or vice versa. Why the fuck do they send both?
I just had a
Or even when
horrible
you call it-
scenario
But
painted
my
in my
point
head.
being is-
I agree with what you're saying. That'll stop when, like I said, when
Whatever, but that could be
someone gets hurt.
Either
No,
they're
but I
not
think
going to
they
do
would.
that.
I think they probably send the police with them.
They might
I
not
can
in the
see that.
beginning.
I can see them sending
Because
a
then it-
cop,
yeah, 'cause the
two
cop-
cops with the social
that-
worker.
Yeah,
Cops
just in case.
stand back.
Yeah.
To me,
social
that could
worker
work.
moves in.
Personally, I
works.
think
I
that could
think that
work.
works.
I think that could work very well.
I
Yeah,
think- yeah,
sure.
I agree.
Until bow or bang, and yeah,
Regardless, but that
I
could have
know,
happened to the cop too, or the cop.
I'm just-
it could have happened
you know
to
what I
anyone
see
at that
You're
coming?
point.
defending the extreme.
You know,
I see what you're saying. You're defending
I
the extreme.
understand that, but sometimes to keep people safe, you have to think of the extreme.
I
So
agree.
what I'm saying is, I foresee a lot of lawsuits coming to New York City against the city.
Yeah, of course.
You got to try it.
Sure,
in my opinion,
listen.
if you do it that way,
I'm not knocking
you
it.
try it.
I mean, I am knocking it, but you're right. I'm not saying it's stupid, it won't work. I don't know. You're right. It might be the fucking answer. Maybe police violence drops off completely because there's, Nancy with a fucking clipboard is standing next to him.
See, I don't-
Who knows?
it's very possible.
I think-
and maybe shit gets.
I think that-
but then you know what else happens? If that cop does pull the gun and shoots, maybe now having someone who is there witnessing and not trying to stop the cop, going, "No, this was a fucked up situation." Maybe that also brings back a little,
Sure.
And
a little
you're-
respect towards cops and
But you're
doing
also
what they're
traumatizing
doing.
a social worker who was unable to do their job correctly and cause someone's death.
Sure, I'm just saying, but it can go many different ways.
You know what? Here's a great question. Then. Are they
basically-
going to
Bring back body cams.
Are they going to retrain social workers to equip?
They're gonna have to.
I guess so, right? To
I mean-
for field work. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
but I will
Like,
say this. I mean,
because let's just say, like,
they
let's
gonna
be
pay 'em
honest,
more?
There's no.
there's no book on
That's
this.
not a safe environment that
No.
you're sending a social worker to. That's not. No matter what, if the cops are being called because there's a situation, it's not a safe environment for
Like
a
I said,
civilian.
Yeah, but I'll
maybe
tell you what,
maybe they're just both.
Yeah, but
maybe they have a
sometimes-
department in the police department.
I mean, the one thing-
that's social worker.
The
type
one thing
people.
I do
Right.
feel good about is that I believe that when it comes to mental illness, police who are trained to respond to a crime cannot arrive on a scene and deal with mental illness.
One of the
Agreed.
worst things
That's
is
too
when an
hard to
autistic
identify.
boy gets out, or when
Yeah,
an autistic
exactly.
kid gets
Like,
out.
you
And I'm
don't
sure
know-
cops don't want to deal with that shit
Yeah.
either.
But a lot of time, like there was just I forget when it was, but there was an autistic kid that was shot and killed by the
Yes.
cops because they thought he was resisting arrest,
Arrest.
but he was just
Exactly.
he wasn't comprehending because he was autistic.
They can't deal with that.
You know, so-
they're not. That's why you need a social worker because they can't
mean,
deal
again,
with that.
but-
They can't deal with that. And then you know what's
You're right.
crazy?
Yeah,
What's-
yeah,
I personally think just doing the mixture of both.
No, I love
is a
it.
better kind of down
think-
the middle. It's,
What- Cops are trained to solve crimes. That's what people have to understand. So not every situation is a
Right?
crime.
They're not there to prevent crimes.
Crimes,
They're there
yes.
to solve.
Yes, you call them after something happened. You
Right.
don't call them before. They're,
Well,
not,
right.
they're not preventers.
Well, that's true because if you try to call the cops before, a lot of times they can't come because nothing's happened.
Yeah, it's 911. What is your emergency? Not 911. What do you think's about to happen?
right.
You know, that's so.
No, I think
You know,
I think kind of like an
you're right.
agreement to do
A
both.
combination.
Maybe
I'm
that
in.
could work.
I'm sold. Combination on both.
Maybe
I'm
it
sold.
doesn't. I don't fucking know.
sold.
You're right. I mean, again, and you're right. I'm thinking it always to the extreme situation. Like, you're going to send a social worker in when there's someone standing there with a gun?
No.
The social worker's going to get grabbed.
Exactly.
You know, like, you're going to send a social worker into a domestic violence situation and be like, okay, excuse me, you need to calm down. Let's sit down and talk this out.
But if there's a cop in the back, maybe...
I'm just saying, I know personally, friends of mine, when they were beat cops, got called to domestic violence situations at a fucking christening, and shit popped off. Both the cops got knocked out. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So again, like, I understand that these aren't every situation, but those situations arise in New York.
Yeah.
And again, having friends on the job that are detectives and that are in the fucking know of shit. This shit happens every day.
I know.
It doesn't hit the news because it happens every day.
But that's exactly why. That's why.
Shootings are up 200% in New York. You're gonna send a fucking social worker into that?
Listen, this is why they. No, this is why they need the social. Listen, the social workers have nothing to do with armed violence or that type of thing. The social workers have to do.
Right, what are they going to be sent in for?
Exactly.
But here's the
mental
issue
illness cases, domestic violence cases.
I don't know about domestic violence cases.
I don't know.
I think violence is violence.
I'm just saying, think about what could a social worker do?
I'm telling you, besides mental mental illness is the big one for me.
I'm not being.
And mental illness is the big one for me. And then I would say,
are you going to have a social worker at a routine traffic stop?
No,
because
that's a different department.
But this is where most of your police brutality
happens.
Incidences happen at routine traffic stops.
Let me tell you something. We've talked about this before in prior shows. Once again,
because again, America, cops aren't just walking down the street pulling people of color off of the street and beating them up and shooting them for no reason, right? It's happening
not this year's. Not this year's.
That's never happened. That's never happened. It was just open season if you were colored.
Arguable.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you were black or brown, it wasn't just like pop, pop, pop.
That's like American Life. 8 sex, okay. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, at least the ones that we can look at
fun of it,
and like routine traffic stops is pretty much where all of them were.
Okay, right? You talking about
not all of them?
Which ones weren't?
Well, they're talking about the ones like selling Lucy cigarettes.
No. I'm saying
like,
Freddie Gray.
Why am I getting choked out in the first place?
Here's the issue.
Sure.
But here's the
I mean, again, if you want to go into, I'm not saying that it was a right situation, but that guy was asked multiple times.
Shouldn't die, though.
Agreed.
That's what people have been saying.
But the reason that the police intervened is because the shop owner was fed up and said, "This is every day.
I get it.
I sell cigarettes. He's undermining my business. I need him away from my business."
No, you're 100% right. The problem is
he was wrong.
The issue is this.
And he shouldn't have died because of it.
No, but you're right. Obviously, the issue is this, and I guess today's theme is the overcorrection, but it's not even overcorrection. This one is back to we ask for something, and someone gives us something else. You know, I asked for water, you brought me a beer. Right. So here we go again. Because people are getting shot, unarmed people are being killed. Somehow that translated into the police are overwhelmed. Because that's basically what you're telling me. They're so overwhelmed.
I mean, listen, let's talk about that.
To underwhelm themselves, they shoot black people. That's what it sounds like to me.
I believe that the police have definitely been handed more than they should.
Yes, but
without a doubt.
But are you making a direct correlation to the overwhelming task or the stress of being overwhelmed to why they handle certain interactions so poorly that end up in death? I don't make that connection. That's where I struggle.
Sure.
Because the decision, and I'm talking about unarmed, the unarmed interactions, like, they shouldn't end in death. Like, that situation, listen, Rodney King, they beat the fuck out of him, but he was alive. Like, the random situations, like, you know, the cigarette, it's like, yeah, beat him up, whatever. Like, you know, I'm at peace with that. Beat him up, but he needs to leave that. I know, it sounds fucked up, but, you know, I have to pick a choice. I choose life, you know? So they beat him up, he goes home, he knows not to sell cigarettes again, you know? Because then he puts a lawsuit for police brutality. And life
makes some money, don't have to sell no cigarettes anymore.
Yeah,
there we go, see?
Everybody wins, but the actual death.
He shouldn't lose his life.
Exactly.
If you weren't threatening someone's life, and I know that was that stupid, like, oh, he went to go grab the gun. Motherfucker wasn't grabbing the gun. Like,
exactly.
You choked him out too hard.
Yes.
Someone just admit it and be like, listen, I'm sorry. That was fucked up. This is going to haunt me. I didn't mean to kill the guy.
No, I agree.
He's a big dude and he was struggling, you know, whatever. But I agree. never should. The only time anyone should lose their life
Is they try to take yours.
is if they try to take yours. That's it.
And this is my point. So we're mad about this. Uncle Ben's gone. Aunt Jemima's gone.
I also don't agree with shoot to kill. I never understood that.
Yeah, me too.
If you draw your weapon and you go to shoot, you have to shoot to kill. I think that's ridiculous.
That's to neutralize.
If someone just and they try to shoot him in the fucking foot, he's alive.
I'm with you.
He's alive.
I don't know. I've never been in a situation where I had to fend for my life to try and go, ooh, I'm going to hit that little leg or that little foot. They shoot for body mass. Because
If you're fighting for your life, then you shoot to kill.
Right.
If
he's saying if someone robbed a bank or
like if
someone's getting away, if someone's getting away, you're not trying to kill him, you're trying to stop him.
Yeah, and you know what? No, I get that because that's also
what was his name? The one in
that's cruel.
Atlanta.
That's
reasonable
unusual.
force.
Right. That's
he's talking about reasonable force or yeah.
That goes back to the guy.
That's considered cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah.
Because if you fire your weapon, it's supposed to be to save your life and to end that person's life who's trying to take yours, not to wound them to subdue them. But I personally think maybe in some of these other circumstances, lives would have been saved if you're allowed to pop a kneecap. You know what I'm saying? To stop someone, or
No, I'm with you.
I don't know. It's a gray area. It's a tough one.
It's just, but that's what they need to challenge, as opposed to. I mean, don't get me wrong. The mental illness is a big thing. As a society, we don't address it enough. But as far as the police and being overwhelmed or whatever, the issue is those interactions. But that was the solution we were given.
When it comes to mental illness, like look at California, like whoa.
Yeah, I agree.
You're not handling it correctly at all.
Good point.
And now you're you're like the super liberal. No, you're allowing people to fucking live on the street and saying, leave them, I don't care. Oh, they're crazy? It's not my problem. But I'm allowing them to live there. So I'm really a good person.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nah, you're not. You're just ruining society in general because now people who have mental illness are just running around.
Also,
unprovoked.
think about this one. Like, it's not just the 6,000 to 8,000 people living on the streets of Skid Row. They're not all mentally ill.
Yeah,
I bet you some of them are developing some sort of mental illness
over time. Over there,
sitting.
Yeah,
and
it's mental illness, regardless.
It's a brought on mental, and not like that. It's not like 8,000 schizophrenics are living on the street. You know what I mean? Like there are.
Considering Skid Row,
and also there's a lot of people in California that are homeless, living in their cars that have full time jobs
because
they just got priced out of their places or priced out of their apartments, but they can't leave their job or move 200 miles away where they could afford and lose their job, so they live in their fucking car.
But California is becoming Skid Row. The whole, all of LA County at least is.
That's what they do.
Well, is it? I don't know.
You've never seen the pictures of just streets? Bro, you could set up in front of a fucking Gucci store.
Yeah. No,
and they can't do shit about it.
Which is crazy. But this also goes to what you were saying before. And this is, I'm also talking about like 8-10 months ago, like when I was really on this. But looking at Skid Row, you're looking at these fucking tents and these thousands of people living on the streets underneath apartment buildings that are vacant.
It goes back to what Gene says, because no one could afford those apartment buildings.
Right.
And if they could, they're not going to live next to Skid Row.
Right. But now this is where...
It's a combination
Maybe this is where the government does step in and offers a reasonable price to the owner of that building.
Yeah.
And now let's use our billions of tax dollars we take in because we're fucking California, LA County...
And fix it.
We have Hollywood and Silicon Valley right here. We have enough. And fix it. And get these fucking people off of the street so that diseases stop spreading. And I mean, all diseases. Drug addiction, fucking whatever the hell the Black Plague is that came through with the rats because all the rats started moving up, up.
Crazy.
Fucking crazy.
Go on YouTube and type in why I'm leaving California, and you'll just see a bunch of well-known people. Actually,
Joe Rogan's one. I know that.
Joe Rogan did one, no, but he didn't do a video. One guy that he's a real estate guy. He's moving out of the state. Ben Shapiro had a video of why I'm leaving.
In Florida now.
He wrote, but he did a video why I'm leaving California,
Ben Shapiro's
and they
not a
show
California
pictures.
guy anyway.
They show pictures.
Born and raised there.
I know, but Ben Shapiro is not.
show-
guy.
It's not why he's leaving. He's leaving because if he goes to the beach and sends his kid up the hill, on the other side of that hill is just people doing drugs, shooting needles. Goes to just people that also have mental issues. Walking out of up your road. He lives in a very expensive neighborhood, and break-ins have risen tenfold.
Wow.
Because there's people that are homeless. So what do you do when you're homeless? You are emotional,
and
you're
I mean,
you'll do
crime is up
anything.
everywhere right now. Like my boy he left my house 2 weeks ago. I just found out, and he was robbed at gunpoint at the gas station right by my house. He
Jesus.
told me this yesterday. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, I was smart enough. He's like, I saw the dude coming, and I threw my wallet under my seat, and he put a gun to him, brought him behind the gas station, and he was just like, yo, I have nothing. You could search my pockets. I got nothing on me. And the guy said, he goes, get the fuck out of here. And he's like, he literally thought I was going to die right there.
Yeah,
And
gunpoint.
he goes, that's where you live. And I laughed, and I go, yeah, I know. 10 minutes before you came here, there were gunshots, and then I was explaining to him about the Ring, how the Ring doorbell community works,
Yeah.
and I go, look, and it was literally 20 seconds after I heard the gunshots. Boom. Anyone else hear gunshots? Yeah, I heard them. But this happened over here. And then last night with the storm, my Ring was going crazy. People were saying, tornado touchdown on Lakeside, which was like 3 blocks away from me. And it's just
That's crazy.
like that shit's cool for that because you get like.
You get the
accurate information, or at least some sort of
nosy neighbor.
Nosy neighbors, yeah.
Yeah,
You get
But
those
they
nosy
don't
neighbors
gotta go and leave their house now.
I
They
know,
can just-
nosy neighbor with no job alert.
Bro, I got
Love
a
it.
pop up. I got a pop.
Love it.
That's why my Ring notifications are one of the only notifications I left on my phone. God bless.
They're good. It's a good notification.
It's
It's
one of the
your
only
neighborhood.
ones. And I also left Class Dojo because that's Averly's teacher talks to me that way. So
Yeah.
like whatever. If you're gonna fucking steal my shit through Class Dojo, I guess you got me. You know what I mean? I don't know.
They're not.
But one of the great things about the Ring neighborhood fucking community thing is that 2 a.m. one night, I get woken up because my phone brings, right? And I look at it and it says, people checking cars. And I looked and it was literally 2 blocks away from me. So I got up and I ran outside and I made sure both of our cars were locked, I didn't lock my car. So thankfully I did do that. My car's been robbed 4 times in my driveway.
I told you, just leave the door open, bro. It's like ajar.
I
Like-
did, bro. After the
What? No.
second time,
No, I'm
I
not-
stopped locking
I'm
it.
not
I was like,
talking about
don't break anything. Just fucking take whatever you want.
I'm not saying, you open it up and you put a sign, other guy beat you to it.
That's good. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
How do we get that from Johnny Depp?
I was about to say.
We went to California and then because shit's
Because
crazy and then it's like
women-
it's not just
'cause
California.
women
New York
lying-
is fucked as well.
Because women lying will always lead to confusion. There you go.
Touche.
And no Aquaman.
Free Johnny Depp, man.
Free Johnny.
how many-
Bro, guys, are you kidding me? Donnie Brasco, brilliant. Fear, Loathing in Las Vegas.
I still have never seen that movie.
Pirates,
I know.
Pirates of the Caribbean, bro. Fuck all of you
Brilliant.
guys.
I know.
I like
I
Pirates
love
of the Caribbean,
pirates.
but I put that in with Edward
Funny.
Scissorhands. Those are like his ability to do an awkward role as opposed to his
Charlie and Chocolate Factory was
Same thing.
considered
Willy
shit
Wonka.
movie, but I
I
loved
thought it was
him.
great.
I
Man.
loved him.
I liked the movie in general. I thought there was a great
I
remake
did too. Yeah, but
trying to think what else
I,
did he do.
the purists, they
First
get
of
the
all,
ones that
Johnny
you hear.
Depp was my first interaction with 21 Jump Street. Like, I'm like,
Yeah, he was
that
doing
was
TV.
He was 21 Jump Street. He was the real.
That's
yeah.
doing Johnny Motherfuckers Depp. doing
No
TV.
shit.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Like, come on, this guy grew up with us,
That's crazy.
and now she's trying to take him down.
But
It's
the point
ridiculous.
being is, yeah,
It's ridiculous. What movie has she been in?
Aquaman.
That's it.
that was some other shit.
Exactly.
I still don't know who she is.
Me neither.
You guys showed me a picture and I was like, oh yeah, I've seen her in like a show and she's hot.
Yeah, well,
That's
that's
it,
why
right?
Johnny Depp was like, "Yeah, I'll marry you." That's what happens.
He should have called the ex.
That's what happened. Yes, was
Who was his ex?
a girl.
Her ex.
I think she was. She went to the other side for a little bit. She tried the old
Bisexual train?
bisexual thing.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like
but
it.
I think it was more of no. She went full lesbian.
Not to be rude, but that's
It was
a
like
sign
I only
right
want
there.
the puss. I don't want anything else.
Not to be rude, but that's a sign right there.
What?
That's a sign itself that she just came from the other side.
I'm gonna have to agree with you.
Yeah, like that's a sign.
Fuck. Sorry. My mom just texted me my dog got out.
Mr. Rock, you weren't the Rock.
Bro, make
You're
sure your
not The
next
Rock.
house just fucking put an electric fence. I get it.
No,
It's
no.
inhumane. Get the one that just kind of buzzes, not that shocks, buzzes. Fuck it. What do you got to lose?
Bro, it's the win
What-
last
what-
night
all
was
right,
fucking
Trump.
nuts.
Either they're fucking going out and hunting deer like fucking like old white guys,
Wow.
or
You maybe got
they don't leave their area because it buzzes their neck and they don't like it.
adopt 2 deers.
Let's get 2 really fast cats to keep them occupied in the backyard.
Yeah, they won't even
Until
think about
one day
leaving.
the cat's dead.
You guys want to do Rushmore rankings?
Let's do it.
I'm always excited. Let's do it.
Video games, childhood video games.
Oh yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Number 1 is Nintendo 64,
Please say it.
James Bond,
Yeah.
Split, GoldenEye.
No,
Seven.
GoldenEye has to be on there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That shit
Number-
started a revolution.
I was like, what the fuck is going on?
That shit started a revolution of how video games were going to be made, and that I think started the idea of going, we need to make multiplayer.
Yes, games.
The world of multiplayer, like a big thing. Multiplayer was on. Obviously, there was all kinds of shit out, but that game I think really made like shooter multiplayer like
I was about to say, you just
a
said it-
big fucking deal.
You almost,
Like,
you almost
we
scared
gotta
me.
do
I was about to say, he just said that it created school shooters. I'm like, I never did that.
I hate you. Why? No.
I
never
Shut up. Ironically, I have another vote for another Nintendo 64 game because it kind of encompasses.
I thought you said childhood.
Yeah, I was a fucking teenager, bro.
Okay.
That's childhood.
I see where he's going. I see where he's going there because I see where he's
14,
going because
15, well, so was
'cause-
GoldenEye. If that was the case,
No, but
same time.
I see where he's going because I'm gonna tell you right now. My brother's duck hunt.
Well, here's the
Duck
thing.
hunt was the first time like I took a gun and shot a television screen.
I think childhood
that was-
games, I think
Yeah, I see what he's saying.
Nintendo and Sega.
No.
Anything past that. Or Super Nintendo came out too when I was
If
a
Biggie
kid.
put it in the rhyme, it counts. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis.
All right. Fine.
No, but we gotta put
No,
GoldenEye.
I think you got to put
GoldenEye, I
You
agree.
got to put.
GoldenEye's
I think
on there.
N64 has to be on
Okay.
there. We were all in either high school or middle school.
Okay, so
During
what's the one you
N64.
want to put in?
I wanted to put, and just because I feel like it encompasses
let
all
me
of the
hear it.
Mario Brothers, I want to do Mario 64 because that was the first game that I fucking got addicted to for real, like addicted
Okay.
to.
I never played it.
Really?
Mario 64. I didn't have it in 64. We were
right.
poor.
Okay,
Damn it.
I'm gonna have to.
Son of a bitch.
I'm gonna have to put in now. Street Fighter.
I knew you would.
Yep.
And I have no choice. And I'm gonna explain to you.
Street Fighter.
You have no choice because the
I would put Mortal Kombat over it, but
No,
that's
but I
me.
feel like Street Fighter made Mortal Kombat what it was because Street Fighter was so good, and then we got Mortal Kombat was like, no, we're gonna give him like a
Yeah.
movie feel.
Honestly,
And
I'd
finish
probably
him.
put both of them on, to be honest with you.
We only have 4 spots, JV.
I know.
I'm saying
but
you're gonna put that over Contra.
I was about to say
Or
that.
Gauntlet?
Zelda.
Contra, yeah,
you guys,
Zelda.
You guys
Yeah.
disrespecting Zelda here?
No,
No, but you know what the
literally
best
like
Zelda
the
was?
first RPG.
You know what the best Zelda was? The one on Nintendo 64.
64. Yes.
Well, I mean, if you want to go down
Ocarina
that
of
route,
Time was the Zelda of Zeldas.
And listen, there has to be a spot for EA Sports in the 90s.
I mean, if we're just gonna keep jumping up
NHL,
consoles
no,
here,
EA
Madden.
Sports in the 90s, because I'm gonna tell you some true story.
No, it's always been N64.
True story.
No.
EA Sports is so good. When I was younger, I had Blazers Steel, which is my first ever.
That
hockey
wasn't
game.
EA Sports. You're thinking NHL. NHL '94 was the
Okay.
EA Sport
Yeah.
games of EA Sport games for that era.
Yeah,
Even
you're right.
more so than Madden's.
Yes.
because Madden didn't come into its own until a little later.
But Madden
Until
93,
PlayStation.
Madden 93 was a really good game, though.
Yeah, but
Because
NHL '94
Madden
was
93 was the first time they had the split screens. Like you could see a receiver A, B, or C, and that's how you knew who was open. You would just look at all 3 screens. It was fucking intense. But my point is, EA Sports. And
I didn't even know they had Madden.
Madden 93
before
was
that.
Madden 93 was
I
great.
played
And then
Joe Montana Sports Talk
that's what I was
Football
about
on
to say.
Sega.
That was the
Montana,
shit.
Joe Montana came right after that, and he had the circle on him. And I remember because I used to play
Fake punt was like the best fucking play.
Yeah,
and they talked.
but yeah, that's a battle between. The problem is Madden was like, he goes deep, boom, and
Right,
all the fucking things. But I think those sports eras were good, and those games were so good. Like I'm telling you now, I learned hockey playing that game. Like I still know all the rules to
Sure.
this game.
Sure.
because like I'm like, fuck,
I learned golf from Tiger Woods.
that's what I'm saying.
Like Tiger Woods video
EA
game.
Sports has to be up there as a whole. I know it's not.
You want to do it as you're gonna have to because there's too much,
too many games, and they did everything right.
and everything was
Hockey was great. The boxing.
Yeah, fuck.
So you got Street Fighter.
Because then there's Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
That's classic.
How do you not put that on?
Yeah, that's a
Problem, bro. We got a problem here.
Yeah.
All right,
Well, that's why I said you guys are jumping up consoles
You're
here.
right. Well, no,
I'm like,
no. GoldenEye has to be on
Golden
there.
has to be there.
That revolutionized.
absolutely. I mean, okay, so
multiplayer gaming.
maybe we do not childhood video games, best video games of all time.
Yes.
GoldenEye is on that list.
Yes, I agree.
Because it was revolutionary.
I agree.
It was.
You know? I mean, again, if you're going to say revolutionary, then Mario Brothers has to be on there because that was revolutionary.
Not really.
But it was.
No, the
There
first
were
Mario
no
Brothers was.
game- There was not a game
Yeah,
like it
okay,
that
I agree
came
with
out.
that. So Mario Brothers.
But as a whole, I'm not saying that this is what we have to do because, again, if we're going to do greatest video games of all time, I'm literally going to sit here and fight you guys if Elder Scrolls is not on that list.
What?
Because exactly, he don't even know. It's
not gonna
literally
fight me.
It's literally the best video game ever
Skyrim, to
made.
be specific.
Elder Scrolls Skyrim. It's an open world RPG that they just made online. FYI, they remade
around.
Skyrim. No,
hello?
they just re-released. New version of Skyrim
And to
online.
be honest with you, I've never played this game because it was never my
Serious.
thing. But that fucking Vice City or whatever it's called,
Grand Theft Auto is
Theft
another
Auto,
one. Like, that's
you-
revolutionary.
I played that shit from the PlayStation days when it was
Me
the
too.
top view and you could
Yeah.
only see the
I
top
feel
of
like
it.
Yeah.
I feel like that changed the game. Like people were just hooked.
That's why it's
think
hard.
about when
It's
people
hard to
never
do.
went home, and that was the games. It was EA Sports. People never came home.
Never came home or left home?
Never left home because they were. I remember staying and playing. People would come to my house to play me in Madden, and I'm like, "Fuck it." Well,
NHL, same thing.
So that was it.
It would be like I was like that with Tiger Woods.
The GoldenEye is true.
I was in
I agree.
that game,
I agree. with
Are
Mario
we
Brothers.
changing the subject then? Should we just do best video game series? Or no? Because then EA Sports, then you got all the Mario Brothers, because all of them are awesome. Zelda, all of them are fucking amazing.
I feel like Mario Brothers and Zelda is the same.
And we haven't even dropped Sonic.
No, Sonic is Mario Brothers. It's just a remix. I give it to you. I agree Sonic is good, but realistically,
I love
It was
Sonic.
the first like 3DS,
yeah,
right?
but that's
Not
Mario
3D.
Brothers. Like,
No,
Yeah,
just
you're
the
right. It's
graphics
Mario
were better.
as
Yeah,
good
I
as
think-
Sonic is good. It's just like because there's a bunch
That's
of
a side
video
scroller.
games. Like,
Yeah, side scroll. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
I remember.
You're right.
It just had a loop-de-loop that you could fucking go around. I was like,
You're
holy
right.
shit.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like Zelda.
You're
Because
right.
of Zelda, I won't mention Castlevania. I won't mention those games because
You just dropped a bomb right there.
Castlevania was great.
And yo, the Castlevania revamp
Yeah.
that came out on PS4 was
They're-
fucking
they're-
ridiculous.
I know, but
Yeah,
but Zelda.
And Devil May Cry is like Devil May Cry and God of War are two. It's a toss up for me for favorite game.
And when I was a kid, those are
See? This
I know,
is
it's
why
tough.
we fucked up. Top 4, you got to really go legendary.
All right, so
like
then,
a
all right,
like
so
a
then
007.
I like what you're saying. We need to put a parameter on this. Best video games pre
PlayStation.
PlayStation Xbox.
Well, PlayStation and
pre the revolution.
Here's the problem. PlayStation.
So we can have Sega, Dreamcast,
Do you know who the first PlayStation was fighting against? Who their rival was?
Dreamcast.
I had a Pass
What?
Act 3DO.
Nintendo 64.
No,
Yeah. I know because I
no,
had both.
GameCube. You're wrong. GameCube.
No, the first
I'm telling you,
PlayStation,
I'm
I
telling
had
you,
both of them.
I'm telling you because PlayStation 1.
I know for a fact it was PlayStation.
No,
1.
I think he's right because
N64's the whole marketing thing was it's a cartridge still, so there's no load time like a CD or DVD in this case. They were both in
and
the
it was
same
64
time.
bits.
Nah, I don't know because it
was-
Sega
I remember.
Dreamcast was CDs. It wasn't cartridges.
Dreamcast came. Dreamcast was. I'll tell you the year Dreamcast came out because I bought it when I moved back here from high school, after high school, which was 99, 2000. That's when Dreamcast came out.
No, it couldn't have been.
Yes, it was.
And did you guys?
I know because I bought it.
Oh, you know, maybe
and
you're
I
right.
lived here.
Because I remember Rob only had that one game. It was Virtual Tennis.
Yeah,
And
I
that was
lived. I
definitely our
lived on
senior year.
Long. I moved to Long
And you
Island
know
in
what people- you guys-
'99.
All right, fair enough.
And I
You know,
bought it
you
here.
know, forgetting too. It was Neo Geo. Neo Geo is like a high
Neo
tech,
Geo,
it was high
yeah,
tech
yeah.
for our era.
Yeah.
Like it was like so fun because I remember I fought to get a Panasonic 3DO. That was another one that was like I went.
You got all the shit dumb systems
I got
that were
everything.
fucking.
Yeah, I went to Macy's.
The
I'm
only
like-
dumb
I'm
system
like,
I got
what is
was
this?
the
And I
Dreamcast.
just stood there, and my mom was like, "Where are you?" I was like, "Third floor." Like, what is this? Like, what? The Panasonic 3DO was crazy. Neo Geo was expensive. It cost
Yeah.
like $600.
You know why? Because it was the
Japanese.
exact. No, it was the exact. It was the arcade.
Yes.
I've seen an arcade system open up a Neo Geo because remember the Neo Geo game had like 4 games in it.
Yeah.
And you choose one. And they looked
Right.
amazing at the time. It was just 4 cartridges in the fucking
Oh my
thing.
God,
Wow.
bro! You
Big,
guys,
big, huge
you guys are
cartridges.
fucking me
Wow.
up right now. Outrun.
Outrun. Outrun was a good game.
Outrun? And then they had Outrun 2000. It was a card game.
Yeah, but
and then the girl would fall out every time you crashed. The blonde falls out on the floor.
No, I don't know.
Are you kidding me?
That's right.
Yeah, you kidding me?
It was more of an arcade.
I played RC Pro-Am.
I remember that.
Nintendo.
I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah.
All right. We're falling out here. We're falling out here.
Bro, I don't know.
I gotta get double.
All right, so
we all agree on 007 though.
Best video games pre PlayStation, Xbox years.
That's fair.
PlayStation 2, Xbox years.
When did Xbox One come out? With PS2?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. PS3 and then 360.
Yes.
PS4 and then
One.
Xbox One.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, I'm still good with Street Fighter and
Right. Okay. Because PlayStation 1 was around. But that's what's weird is because PlayStation 1 was also around with GameCube because there was a lot of cross games for both platforms.
Nintendo tends to come out with things first. You got to keep that in mind. And GameCube, PlayStation 2 didn't take much longer to come out after GameCube.
PlayStation 1, I'm saying.
No, I know because you got to understand something. Nintendo is the first to things. Anyway,
right.
So it might have just crossed over
and
a little.
PS2 came out at the same time
Right.
because one of my other favorite games of all time, Gladius, was on both systems.
Yes, most likely. Yeah.
But that was PS2. Okay.
Think about recently. We came out, and then a year later, PlayStation came out with a new one, and the Xbox came out.
Yeah.
Then Wii U, which went by the wayside. Blah. But then the new Wii, the new Nintendo Switch comes out, and just now, a year later, what's coming out? Xbox Series X, and then the PlayStation 5.
Is that like
They're out.
Oh yeah.
Point being is Nintendo tends to come out shit early, so
I thought you were
can't
saying they were coming out with like a Switch.
The last time something came out similarly was Nintendo 64, and then PlayStation came out, if not around the same time. But that was the rivalry was cartridge versus DVD.
CD,
With
right.
a cartridge, shit just loads up. There's no waiting for anything,
Right.
Which was nice. But the cartridges was just the chips and blah,
Graphics
blah, blah.
weren't great. Yeah.
The graphics were comparable-ish, but yeah, the games would be faster because it was just a chip instead of loading. I got to load. It's not a hard drive.
Right.
That was the difference. So
Interesting. I know that.
So then, all right. So I mean, you got to put Street Fighter. If you're gonna put a fighting game, it's got to be Street Fighter.
You know why Street
Gotta
Fighter's
be.
great? Because it set the tone for almost all the other games. They
Even if
all
you
do it.
think no-
all the moves are the same. The uppercut punches, the firing shit out your hand. That's all Street Fighter.
I'm saying even if you think, even if you believe, and I was more of a Mortal Kombat fan, but I was a Street Fighter fan first.
Yeah.
And then when Mortal Kombat came out, I was like, nah, the Street
And
Fighter.
think about this.
It doesn't make it.
Think about this. All this Capcom versus Marvel. That's Street Fighter.
Yeah.
All these.
Yeah,
little-
that's all.
That's all Street Fighters. That they just better characters.
Right. If you feel,
Batman, Batman versus Superman.
Yep.
Thing.
Yeah.
Street Fighter games.
So you got Street Fighter.
So
you got
007 for
007,
sure.
So now we need two more.
I would say
Do you remember
Mario
Streets of
Brothers 3.
Rage? Do you remember Streets of Rage?
Yeah, but that was like, that
I
was
like
a good
that
I would
game.
like. I mean, how do you
was a
not
double-
throw Contra in there? Just because
Was that the first war game? He could be right.
It wasn't really. It was aliens. It wasn't really. It was a sci-fi.
but it was the
game.
You're
first-
running around with a machine gun and you're
Yeah,
and you're
and they had
picking
two
up
different
other-
views. You had the side scrolling, then you had the top
And
down.
then, and then you pick different guns because it was
you
like the
pick-
spreader.
you could pick up different
guns
along the way.
Yeah.
Games still use
and a
that,
blowtorch,
by the way.
And they still do that.
It's still
just like James
games-
Bond because James Bond.
Think
used
about
to-
it. Call of Duty just
Switch
came
gun.
out. Boom, you could pick up a new gun.
Yep.
Running around. Find something, boom, pick up a gun.
That's Contra.
No, it changed the
Wow,
way.
you're right. That's very Contra-ish.
A game still use like even jet games like
That's what I'm
over-
saying.
They use the
Yeah.
spread. They use all
Absolutely.
those techniques.
Contra was revolutionary in that.
I'm in. I'm sold on Contra.
And-
I'm gonna have to fight with him with that.
I mean, it's the most legendary cheat code too. Everyone
Yes.
knows it.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't remember it.
Up, down, left, right. BA start or BA select start.
That's
BA
what
two player.
Select start. Yeah, that's right.
It's
Okay.
2-player.
That's right.
That's
30
crazy.
dudes,
Yeah.
32 free guys. I think it's 30,
Yeah.
30 free lives.
Yo, you're crazy, bro. Love it.
Bro, that's the most legendary cheat code. That is the cheat code. Of
And how
cheat
do you guys
codes.
feel about Gauntlet? We can't throw Gauntlet in over Zelda. If we're gonna throw Contra in, I think we have our rankings.
I think you
Because
do
Zelda
need an
has to be in
RPG.
there.
Now,
Zelda.
It's got to be Zelda.
Has to be. It's like the first RPG.
The RPG, yes. And Zelda, I mean, Ocarina of Time should be the specific Zelda. That was, you didn't play it, but when it came out, like that changed.
What was it on?
That was 64. But that changed everything for Zelda in general and for the way RPGs were going to be. But Nintendo 64 revolutionized a lot because that was the first 3D gaming
Right.
with the PlayStation, of course.
Did they have memory cards yet?
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah, it went in the controller.
Yes. Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah, but okay.
That's
So
right.
what video game had like different boards where they had the best
Like
bosses?
a dungeon style game. That's why I was going to throw out Gauntlet. But if you throw out Gauntlet
Because I think of Ninja Turtles.
me too. Ninja Turtles was the other one. But again, if you really break it down,
somebody, it was cool.
If you really break it down, it's
Then
Contra. Because Contra is essentially
No, Ninja Turtles was different. Ninja Turtles was the 4-player game.
Yes, okay.
And then people jump in.
That was the original
And then
4-player at once game.
And that was the first time you had to like, yo, I need you to do this. I'm gonna hit him up high. You hit him up like you had to jump in because that was like one board like you had to do these different type of kicks.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's when they sold that
Ninja
little
Turtles
fucking
was such a
extension.
good
And the
game.
arcade was amazing, which is why you bought the video game.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles brings
Ninja
me back
Turtles did
to
everything right.
being a kid, and I'm there.
Yeah.
It's instantly.
Ninja Turtles
Between
did
that,
everything right as a
I agree.
franchise.
I
Video
agree.
game was perfect. Movies were great. Cartoon was phenomenal.
The Home Alone game was great too. Do you remember that game?
No.
Really? You had to set the traps and
Nope.
oh, bro, Home Alone game was great.
Ah,
Really?
you gave me that and Ninja Turtles. I go,
Yeah.
I'm
No,
playing
you
Ninja
can't say
Turtles.
that. You never
No.
played it. Ninja Turtles was fantastic. I love that game, but the Home Alone game was fucking awesome.
I like that style of game.
And we're doing home arcades because if it was, we're gonna have to do this again with just arcades because I loved X-Men the game, the arcade, but not the video game.
Yeah, because the Ninja Turtles, same thing. Like
Yeah,
the arcade was the good
amazing.
one.
Yeah, the home one was
Right, they
yeah.
ported it to. There was the second Nintendo one. That
Yes.
first Nintendo Ninja Turtles was a shit show.
it was hard. It was hard to play.
And one of the hardest boards of all time was considered to be on that game. By the way.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, the underwater
I never beat that game.
because of the underwater fucking
Yeah,
part.
sure.
Yeah, because that was considered the hardest. Like one of the hardest like boards in video games
was a game-
Wow.
to this day.
That's crazy.
Not double.
Yeah, it definitely fucking was.
What was the one with the?
sucked.
What was the
Yeah.
game with the double? Not double dragon. Double dragon.
Double Dragon.
Dragon
That was
fun.
another.
I love Double
Yeah,
Dragon.
Double
I was a big Double
I'm
Dragon
just saying,
fan.
in
But
my
again,
era- in my
Contra.
era- you think so?
It's the
No.
same premise. It's the same
No,
style,
you can't
right?
do
Well, you
that
said because of
no,
boards?
No,
Oh no! Double Dragon
you had to
was
fight.
side by side.
Side by side.
So
It
Mario.
it was fighting.
Yeah, but you had to run through and fight things that
No,
were
it was a little,
coming
but
to
it was
you.
also different. It was a little more 3D because
Yes.
you walked up and down.
Yeah, right.
It just added another level.
And you fought and then fought a boss at the end.
Right.
So that was interesting.
They all have different things, but Double Dragon is not going to be legendary, even though they did have a movie.
I just put
They're
them into
pretty
like
close.
dungeon clear games. Like
Yeah,
that's what it is. You go
okay.
through this board, you clear the dungeon, and then you fight
Which
the boss.
Mario
Yes,
kind
And
of.
then you go to
yes.
the next one, you clear out this board, you fight the boss, and then you.
But it's how you lay it out.
I'm gonna put if you're gonna put a specific Mario, you got to put Super Mario 3. That was the
Yeah,
one
that
that
was the
changed
one, yeah. I
everything
agree
for
with that.
Mario. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I
the
agree.
one that added all the
Agreed.
different costumes and shit.
Did that have a Duck Hunt too though?
No, but
Oh.
Duck Hunt wasn't part of Mario Bros. That was just the original game that came with Nintendo that just gave you two options of games. It
Right.
wasn't it wasn't Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt. It was just Duck Hunt or Super Mario Brothers.
I didn't
Right.
know. I never knew
Eventually,
that.
they sold
I
them
was-
separately.
They just look the same.
Yeah, I just put it
graphic
together.
wise because
I'd be like,
what was it? 8-bit then?
Come
16-bit.
on. And then the dog would come
No,
out.
8-bit
It was
was the
Bro,
8-bit,
you would
yeah.
shoot and then the dog would come out.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Did you know you can control the ducks from the second player controller?
Yes.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I would have been fucking people forever.
Second player can control the ducks. Not a lot of people knew
I
that.
don't know that. I knew that I could cheat with my turbo buttons. In a lot
Yeah,
of
you can also
games.
go up to the fucking
Oh, yeah, I
screen and put the gun up on it and just fucking
right,
shoot
yeah.
everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go with
GoldenEye,
GoldenEye.
Super Mario 3,
Super
Gotta be
Mario
Super
3.
Mario
Street
3.
Fighter.
Street Fighter,
Zelda.
and yeah, I would
Any
put
Zelda. Pick a Zelda.
Ocarina of Time. Trust me.
Sure.
It's you
They're
never
all
played
great,
it.
yes.
I'm sorry
I
you
definitely
didn't.
no. I played it. I've definitely played it because we had I had that fucking that hard drive on my old computer, so I literally had every single video game ever created,
What?
and I've played every single Zelda
bro.
on that laptop.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's the way it is. You
Yeah.
don't realize how small the games were,
Yeah.
bro. A
Bro, like
Nintendo game is like 400 kilobytes with 4 megabytes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like
Yeah.
400 kilobytes, not even 4,000 kilobytes. It's nothing. They're nothing. Those games.
Oh,
It's
there's a game
hilarious.
that's coming back to me. I just can't remember it.
I think we.
I almost said Max Headroom, but it wasn't that. It was something like that.
Max Payne.
No. That's
a great game.
Good game. But
that what it was?
all right, yeah. So I want to.
That was later. That was like PS2 days.
No, that was a Nintendo game. It's just coming. It'll come later.
Mylon Secret Castle. Great game.
Tons. You could just do a whole fucking podcast of video games.
Oh, just video games.
2 hours and 6 minutes, people. We are
Wow.
done.
Okay.
And
Thank
we
you
had
for
nothing
joining
to
us.
talk about today.
I know. Yeah. That's.
We also were all over the place, so whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
I
It
like
wasn't
you
very
guys.
structured. One
The
day.
U.S. government sent out 1.1 million stimulus checks to dead people. Remember that.
Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, baby.
Subscribe and like.
Thank you.